The ECWM podcast has been brought to you by Benelli. Dominate the skies.
Kent Cartridge, Canada. High quality, high performance shotgun shells for waterfowl, turkey, upland, sporting clays, and more.
Sitka, turning clothing into gear.
Maritime Dog Training, because I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be.
Offering obedience training of all levels, service dog and retriever training in person or online. L&M Trailers, offering trailer rentals and sales in Woodstock, New Brunswick.
Big Owl Decoys, high quality silhouettes and accessories for waterfowl, turkey, and sandhill cranes.
East Coast Calls, offering high quality duck, goose, and turkey calls built right here in the Maritimes.
And that's all I have to say. One thing about Steve.
This is my first time hunting guide.
Second year, I have a stamp from 20.
I have a guide license.
Last year.
You hunting guided last year?
For you?
No.
3 days. I'm pretty sure.
I hunting guided.
I hunting guided. I showed up to a place and did some things.
In an emergency situation.
Yep.
I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm just going to eat Quaaludes.
Yeah, let's have a few of those.
Let's have some Quaaludes, boys.
Do you hear
Pass
how
them
loud
around.
yours is?
It's just my robust, booming voice. How's that?
Yep, that sounds quite a bit better.
Yeah.
How do I sound?
Like shit.
Am I turned way up?
Are you better off to turn it down or move it away?
No, you just turn it down. You want to talk directly into the microphone.
Directly
How about that?
into the microphone.
Ooh, this tastes like shit when you brush your teeth.
What's going on here? That's why. Look.
Yeah, and you want to talk into the side of your microphone.
There we go.
Oh my God! Hey, Matthew Wilson joins the
There he is.
conversation.
Got her figured out now.
This podcast is brought to you by Quaaludes and alcohol.
And beatboxing.
And
Fuck, I
beatboxing.
wondered why I couldn't hear myself. I'm like, geez, something going on there.
Should really get one of those local dispensaries in on the sponsor list too.
Quaalude dispensary?
No, up the road at the reserve.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, we should, shouldn't we?
yeah.
This is going on my story.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Jesus.
We don't want people to see what they are. This podcast is brought to you by Quaaludes.
In a fake vitamin C container.
It'll make you right.
It'll do you right.
It'll do you right.
Do you right
Keep your
good.
life on track.
It'll do you right. It'll do ya.
It'll do.
It'll do.
It'll do.
It'll do ya. What do you guys got your headphones at?
I don't know. Enough that I can hear.
The ambience in here makes it hard to see. I got mine set to about 5.5.
What about mine?
Yours is about 5, and Steve's at 5.
We're all at 5.
Yeah, I'm actually at 5.
Yeah.
My microphone volume's 4. Matt, you're 3. Steve's 4.
Oh. Yes.
Steve, this is the only reason why you didn't die this fall.
What's that?
These here,
Oh, they definitely kept me going.
these here Quaaludes.
Couple every day.
It'll do you right.
Okay. Just one more day.
Just one more day. How do you feel, boys?
Good.
Good.
These are the best ones. I still feel
I
loud.
prefer the Jamesons.
I don't know what it is. Am I loud?
Did you bring those in from
No,
the truck?
not really.
Nope.
Oh.
Why?
I thought you brought them right in with you.
No, they're my
Energy
Quaaludes.
drink and a bottle of Quaaludes.
Yeah, my dopamine.
go.
My dopamine's all fucked
I've
up.
got like major amounts of Quaaludes in this house. I like the Jameson Quaaludes,
Really? I
Yeah.
like the Equate.
but we get the
Fuck, it's like bottomless. I don't know how
Wild
many
berry.
I've given away. Anybody that walks by, you want a Quaalude? Fucking everybody's got their hand right out. They don't even know what it is.
No.
I know. We could all be drugged
Take
right
these.
up on.
Yeah. Take these and come with me.
Literally, all false. Like, take these. Okay. Nobody asked me how long they had. Nobody really said anything.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just turn that down just to touch
That's
or
your
something.
headphones there.
Yeah.
Too loud.
There, I feel a little bit better.
Sound
Feel
better or
good
feel
about the
better?
situation.
Go ahead and talk, Steve.
I've been talking. Why, can you not hear me? Am I too loud? Am I too quiet?
That's
There you
pretty
go.
good.
Can you hear me now?
I just had to turn your mic up.
Oh, there we go.
How do I sound? Okay?
Good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Get a couple takes in.
Do you have your radio voice?
Do I have my radio voice? No.
There's one take, Steve. There's
He's got
no-
his lips
no more
rolled and
takes.
his eyes peeled.
There's never one take with you. I've learned that.
Okay, boys.
Killer.
So,
Look at the teeth on him.
oh fuck, he's mean.
Big display.
Can I borrow one of these for my
big
OnlyFans?
display, big display, big display.
One of these microphones? I can mount
big-
right above the headboard. For my
He was
OnlyFans?
even like that with Jace.
There'd be a lot of crying and,
Few minutes
loud, and loud noises, loud squealing.
Why don't you hair drop me that note?
What note?
The one that he writ.
He writ.
Podcast notes.
You don't have airdrop, Steve. So
No. The old-fashioned text message.
Yeah. He's just gonna airdrop it to me, and I'll
How
have
about
it
I just do
instantly on
this?
my telephone.
Collaborate.
Hmm.
Send copy. Wesley.
I will accept the note. Accepted. Here it is, already on my phone, Steven.
Steve, would you like me to send it to you?
I feel like I have it somewheres.
Well, you didn't
I
have
just
it about
can't
an hour
find it.
ago.
Steve's
And you
just.
sent it to me, didn't you?
He's got a.
Here it is.
And,
Guiding season.
Look at him.
That was
Holy.
not it.
Boog's getting right in his face. He's asking for it. Look,
He is-
sniffing his wiener, his butthole.
Oh, yeah.
He was just right in there in his mouth, sniffing his face. He didn't give a crap.
No.
He has
just
submitted.
makes a
They've
lot
got
of money.
along.
Got it?
No.
I sent it to you.
You
Did you?
friggin' donkey.
Did you?
Is your name
Oh.
Steve Murgison?
Last I checked.
Okay.
Present and counted for.
There we go.
How was your season?
Talk about the highs and lows, Steve.
Highs and lows. The lows are always after the season.
The highs and lows of the season. Together we're here. The season was highly sexual. Sexual, sexual, sexual.
Should just do the handlebar mustache next year.
You need to go back to your Amish beard.
Do you know
I got
what?
that's why I started growing the mustache.
I regret.
epic.
I actually regret. I said that I was going to do a mustache, and I fucking bitched out and didn't do it. And I regret it.
Now you get to live with yourself
It's not too late.
the rest of your
That'll
life.
mean it'll just be that much thicker next year because I'll put that much more chicken shit on it.
I got lots of that.
Rabbit shit works good too,
I
probably.
got both mixture.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another podcast.
Hola.
Another podcast.
Well,
Yep.
now that I've got these headphones all in, I should take this fucking
You should fuck
sweater
around
off.
and completely rearrange everything and readjust.
Yeah, she's toasty down here.
It's nice. Perfect
Steve,
temperature.
The draft is like
the way
tightly
that you
closed.
spit out what you said to me the other day, I've laughed about it a few times since then.
that? I don't even remember. I say so much witty
Steve,
stuff.
Steve says things, and his body and mind and everything is over here, and everything, just his mouth is over here when he says things, and he doesn't even know how witty and funny he can be at times. Anyway, I don't know what I said, and Steve goes, "Yeah, well, you've been doing pretty good for yourself. It's about time you fuck things up."
Fuck your life up.
Fuck your life up. It's about time you fuck your life up, isn't it?
He hasn't known you that long, though, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Long enough.
Hey, you know what?
Oh. Oh. He's got the power.
Come over here.
We one of my buddy's brothers were over last Christmas drinking, and I convinced him to put that on. I told him I'd start at 10, and I'd go up 10 every time. But when I got to 50, I went from 50 to 100.
On what?
Dog shot collar, 9 volt
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Rottweiler. Not a 6 volt either.
Yeah.
They flattened me.
Go
October
around
is
and
like
Google it.
it's always sober October for me. It's awesome now with goose hunting. Just
Yeah.
good 30 days and no booze, pretty well.
Pretty well.
Might have one or
Almost
two.
not quite pretty well.
I was gonna say I feel
Yeah.
like that's bullshit, Steve.
Yeah.
But you know what I do appreciate though, is that you don't show up hungover as fuck,
Fuck no, I don't even smoke beforehand.
laying in the bushes. You what?
Hey,
I don't even smoke beforehand.
can't get hung over if you don't stop drinking.
Ah,
That's right.
Pro tip.
I don't care what you do.
no,
Show up for work.
Professional.
professional guide.
Yeah.
Be a professional, Steve.
Yeah,
I'm a professional.
puking in the bushes.
Yeah.
Seen that before.
Yeah.
Phew.
Yeah.
So what do you think's gonna happen with her guns?
Oh,
What do you think's gonna
baby.
happen with her?
That is bad.
Jesus. I have to slide down and sit another seat
Oh,
down.
that's bad.
That stink. That's what Brad would say if he was here and not being a bitch. Big ginger bitch.
He's a ginger bitch.
He'd say that's a high protein diet right there. I can smell it.
I think he forgot to ask Selita permission to come.
Must have.
Dear Salida.
Why don't you come to my window? Or whatever the
And
words are.
bring your big ginger with a big juicy beard.
Lathered in sweat.
Yeah.
Man, that's still lingering.
I'm gonna do a smoker full of smoked meats tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
Watch the fights.
You know what? Success is like a fart. Nobody likes it unless it's their own. It's a pro tip.
Yep.
That's true.
He's sitting there in his own stench and
Loving
doesn't care one
No,
bit.
no. Happier.
And I
Yeah.
know it stinks. Like that's the thing. Like
What I
I know
enjoy
that.
about it.
Well, there's no way you can't know that doesn't stink.
Yeah, like I know it
I'm
stinks.
just doing the only mouth breathing
but
right
I'm
now. I
not.
haven't
I'm not
tasted it.
revolted by it. You know.
Yeah, kind of like it a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of like
Couple
my own. I like my own brain. Why
Hairs
wouldn't
curled
I?
a little bit, but
It's all good. Not like yours, though.
No.
Yeah. Okay, you need to fucking chill out. You're stressing me out.
There's no chilling that dog, man.
they sent me that video of all the guys dressed up in like the old timing trap shooting outfits. I
Yeah.
was like, need some of that.
Did you see my reply?
I did not.
I said, those guys look like they don't start shooting until 50 yards. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Steve, you probably don't know.
No, I don't know.
No, you don't know that
No,
one.
no.
That's all good though.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I will
But you
tell
wouldn't have
I'll
to
tell
go
you a
far.
story.
You wouldn't have to go far. That was just a driven shoot.
Yeah. There was literally ducks in the field, wasn't there, or something like that?
No,
or-
they would have had. You saw a buddy with the bullhorn.
Oh,
was
yeah.
To the, that was to signal to the bird handlers to start throwing
to release
birds.
the birds.
Start throwing ducks. Yeah.
That's a beautiful hunt.
Yeah. Throw me the
They
bird.
probably got $5,000 worth of clothing on and $10,000 shotguns to have people
We'll
throwing
wake up
ducks
and-
out of the woods.
We'll
at them.
wake up and have a hearty breakfast, and then we'll head to the gunning fields.
Yeah.
Look at you go. The old Mike's Hard
Oh.
Cranberry.
Yeah.
Jesus, getting wild.
He is getting
Out of
fucking
control.
wild. I don't see that man drink alcohol very much.
No.
But that being said,
It's got to taste good.
I do have quite a bit of alcohol in the truck.
Yep.
Do you?
Hey,
Yeah, I've got a couple big, large bottles of
liquor.
liquor. Yeah.
Yep. Some of it good, some of it not.
Yeah, it's good. I just barely opened the day
Yeah.
that we went out there. I
Yeah.
opened it. It's been in there all fall.
Good stuff.
So I might duck out here partway through and put my fucking dog away and get some.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the ECWM podcast.
Welcome, Stephen.
Good to be here, boys. Matthew,
Thank you,
Wesley.
Steve. Thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks
Good.
for the invite.
Good to see you again.
Good to see everybody.
I wish I could say the same.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Stephen Margison. I hunt with the boys.
Pretty much a piece of shit, but
Pretty much, you know. Hey, they invite me along, shoot at some birds, get some laughs.
we
Love
need
it.
another guide license, so
Yep. Hey.
he's a warm body.
Yep. I fill a seat. I show up.
So, how's the season going so far, gentlemen?
He's got an excellent radio voice.
You've got a face for radio.
That's what I've been told.
Steven, you ain't got shit.
Yeah.
Quaaludes, boys.
Oh, I've already hit my dose for the day.
Yeah. Be pissing neon yellow. It's 1,500 milligrams.
Boys,
for you.
I can take 15,000 milligrams.
I bet you can take. I bet you can take.
Yeah, I know.
Quaaludes don't do anything to me anymore.
Yeah. I can fight the urge to fall asleep like nobody's business.
Yeah.
No, we had a good season.
That was great.
Really, tons of ducks this year, man.
I know. Which is odd for the last 5 years, basically.
Yeah.
But they kind of did their own thing. It didn't really matter.
Yep.
We had our decoys, our mojos out. They just kind of.
Weren't interested in working
Yeah.
at all.
They were there.
Some were,
Yeah.
but the problem that we ran into, actually, was this year the regulations were changed in the sense that our regulation for legal shooting time was always like marked out.
Yeah.
So we knew like from this day to this day, it was 6:59 to whatever time, 7 o'clock or whatever, and then from when the sun or when the season went on, we knew that from this time to this time it was 15 minutes later than that. It was documented in the front of our regulations book forever to the minute. Now
Yeah.
this year they changed it and they said half hour before sunrise, which made things about what, Steve, 15 minutes later?
It was legal light for 10, 15 minutes
Yeah.
every day.
And we hunted that one field, we were just talking about it, like 5 times. And those ducks were there every time. They were there for a month in that field.
And always right before legal light.
Every day. And we weren't the only guys that hunted it. And I guarantee, I bet there was 10 ducks shot out of 500 or 600 that were there.
Yep.
Because they'd show up
By the hundreds.
by the hundreds, like before daylight, and when legal shooting time normally was, we couldn't shoot. So they'd come in, circle around, land in the field. They would feed till basically shooting time, and then they'd boom, back to the river, and we wouldn't see them again.
Yeah.
Would we?
No. Well, that one day you tried to put them out. They'd fly up, land 20 feet from you, put down.
Yeah.
As soon as it was legal light, back to the river.
Back to the river, and we
Yeah.
never saw them again.
And it was bright enough we could have clearly identified birds.
Yeah.
Like, we knew what we were shooting at.
Yeah, so that was kind of a kick in the pants for us. I'm sure, they did that for a reason, made things easier. I don't know, but I bet if you ask,
It really doesn't make things easier, though.
when
Because we were checking the other day, and we had 3 different sunrise times.
Depending on what app you use. Google
Yeah,
or
it's
Yahoo
all
or-
different. And it was a variant of like 10 or 15 minutes or something like that.
yeah.
So which one do you trust?
Well, I don't know.
How strict are they on it?
Yeah.
To the minute? Like,
And for you would think, and for us it was frustrating because you got when we're guiding clients sitting there going, holy shit, are we gonna shoot these? And we're like, nope, we're not. Sorry, like we're holding this right to the minute. We are not.
Yep.
We're not shooting a second early. And by the time that it was legal time, I think we had the first week, the first group we put in there, I think we shot into them once.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it didn't work out for us. But I think if you ask most waterfowl hunters that paid attention in our province, they'd probably say the same. That,
it was just better. You look in the book, it says 7:59.
Yeah.
That's your time. You don't look at the sunrise and say, okay, this says 7:59. This one says 8:10. This one says 6:50 or whatever.
And
right?
I guess that's the other thing is that with that
Or
variation, like it didn't really specify like where you should go to find sunrise times.
Yeah.
Right? Because look at like if you're an older fella that's hunted here forever and maybe doesn't even have a cell phone, like how the hell is he supposed
We never
to
thought
know?
to check the newspaper. That has it every day, I think, or used to.
Yeah, but who wants to go buy a freaking newspaper? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That'd actually be a good question for DNR because like we said, like we had the watch right out watching for the exact time, and geez, in comparison with the other ones, it was 5 or 10 minutes
Yeah.
either way sometimes. So
Yeah.
And 15 minutes is the difference. 20 minutes between, your limited ducks or a few ducks or no ducks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
That
they're
first few
starting to
minutes.
hammer out there, I
Yeah.
mean, geez, it doesn't take them long once they start to get into that field. And if you miss that window, which you did every time we were there,
Yep.
So that being said, with the amount of ducks that we had in the area,
That stayed.
we really didn't shoot that many, did we?
Nope.
It makes you wonder, when the hell are the ducks feeding?
Yeah.
You never see them out in the field.
Quick.
I remember years ago when we used to be able to hunt fishers. One time, Kevin and I showed up in the field, and the field was full of birds, and it was dark.
Yeah.
They were nocturnal feeding.
Fed all night.
Yep, nocturnal feeders. And why? I don't know. I guess at that time with the moon phase, it was closer to being full, but it wasn't like they were getting pressured big time, because at that time there wasn't a lot of guys around.
No.
But they were feeding at night, and when we got there, as soon as it got a little bit lighter, they were flying out of the field.
Yeah.
They had fed pretty much all night, so it's crazy. Here, I mean, I've heard of that other places, but so
The flyway is changing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's something when you see it in your own lifetime.
Definitely. I mean, you talk about how many birds used to be here. Like, even from when, like, Wes, you've been at this now 15 years.
Yeah.
And, even from when you started till now, I mean, there's a major
Oh man,
change.
back when I first started, if you saw a field with like 300 birds, that was huge.
That was a big field.
Like that was a massive field.
500 or so. That
Yeah,
was,
that was
a big
just
field.
500 was like an all-time field.
Yeah.
Now we might have a couple within a half-hour drive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
see fields of 1,500,
Yeah.
maybe more.
And lots more coming through now. I had this talk with a guy the other day. He was like, I saw a bunch of white geese this year. What are they, snow geese? And I said, yeah. And he said, I've been other places and seen them before. He said, you'd think we'd have them here because up through Quebec there's tons of them. And I said, personally, I'm glad we don't have them here. I'm glad we have just the amount that we have come through, which is very few, because I think if they ever do, that'll completely change things. Guys watch these big snow goose shoots on TV and stuff, but it would completely change where the Canadas are, and it would most likely push them completely out.
Mm-hmm.
They just wouldn't be around, and I'll tell you, you get a big jag of snows coming down through. Good
There'd
luck.
just be nothing left for them to eat.
Yeah. Good luck. I mean,
Snow geese are so aggressive.
you're
Holy-
changing your whole spread. It's a lot more gear. It's super frustrating. They're not consistent. Like,
Don't work.
Usually when we
Shit.
see them, it's what, 1 or 2, 3.
Yeah.
You might get a flock of half a dozen.
yeah,
We've seen flocks in the past,
Yeah.
like
At
up
night,
to 50 or so.
Last year, what was it, 5 in the morning? We
yeah.
had a flock of snow geese fly over us in the lights.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most I saw was a little over right around 50. They're Herb Culberson's once.
Yeah.
That was a jag.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't. It's funny that we don't where we are, but we just don't. We just don't get that many. Actually, what we seem to see more consistently, or even maybe here, is specks.
Yeah, little birds too.
Yes.
Specks and pinkfoots.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty sure when we saw that one out east of us there, I'm pretty sure that was a pinkfoot,
Oh, no doubt.
because the backs of its wings were super bright. It just didn't, and we could not for the life of us. And it's funny too, because you have guys here and they want to shoot birds, and they don't really, nobody's much paying attention to what's in the air or whatever. And I mean, we heard that bird, as you do, and we were like, oh geez, we got to see if we can get that. And then everybody else was on board too. They're like, oh, where is it? Oh yeah, I see it. And we put like, I don't know, 150 birds on the ground trying to get this friggin' thing. And then it ended up unfortunately landing out of
100 yards down.
Yeah, out of range, and it didn't happen to flare
You guys
back.
get it with a 22 250.
Yeah, we got the rifle out, and Did what any good
Yeah, and it's going on the wall.
Waterfowl would do.
did what any good New Brunswicker would do, and shoot it with a rifle. Yeah.
Shoot it with a deer rifle.
But yeah, we never got him, never saw him again.
Yeah.
It's kind of a strange area. So,
Yeah.
and as far as I know, up until a few years ago, they had only ever documented like one of those. And then a friend of mine that has a dog training pond down in Lincoln took a picture of one. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, just randomly, hey, what's this? What type of goose is this? And I'm like, holy shit, that's a pinkfoot.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, 2 years ago, because that was the year that they were landing in like, it was almost like standing corn beside the school.
Yeah.
They were landing and you couldn't see them when they hit the ground. The stubble was so tall. And you could hear one. I still got video of it flying around. And when I thought it was a speck, but now that it just
No,
kind of
you
made
know,
sense to
yeah.
me that like 2 days later, you know,
Yeah.
she had that picture, beautiful picture of it too.
Well, we're getting tropical storms and hurricanes later in the season during the migration now. You know,
Yeah. Because there was one in,
birds
not
around.
Sussex.
Salisbury.
Salisbury, yeah.
Yeah.
There's one there, plus all those collared geese.
Yeah.
And it
from
might
Greenland.
it might still be there, that one.
you know, all those birds mid-migration, big windstorm blows in. You know, they gotta go somewheres.
I'll tell you, the eastern part of the province has really been tearing them up too.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of birds over there, and right now, PEI too. I mean, they're having another year where, I don't know how long ago that was, 3 years ago, that we froze up early, and I mean we didn't this year, I guess, but
We
they
did and we didn't.
It was a quick
It
fall.
came fast.
It came
Yeah.
fast,
Like,
yeah.
it was just like within a few days, it was like
T-shirt weather the
full-blown
week
winter.
before, yeah.
Like, we went from friggin' warm T-shirt and shorts to snow, cold, everything's frozen.
Well, it went from like, yeah, everything being soaking wet
Yeah.
to
frozen.
fucking frozen. Yeah, like everything in my trailer was saturated, frozen stuff.
Well, we had that first week of October. Everything kind of got cold, negative temperatures, started the migration off good, and then it warmed up to 20 degrees, 25 degrees
Yeah.
every day.
Dropping into my DMs.
There you go.
Yeah.
We need to get hooked up with somebody in PEI though for when we're froze up. I'd
Have them
love to
come
go
up early and
I'd
then-
love, have
yeah.
them come up early and then
Wouldn't it be cool though?
I'd
like
love to
this
go
time
over
of
there
year?
right now.
Yeah, I know, and that's
Especially like they're tearing them up.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. There's no snow over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and they're lucky that they got ocean water.
Every time that we've had snow, like since it got cold, it's been rain for them. Like they've been right on that line, and it's gone across. They've been getting the same weather that Nova Scotia has been, basically.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I
I wish we had another solid month, but hey.
Yeah, because it really didn't seem like this year we had a whole lot of time, like as a group.
Yeah.
After guiding, you know, we really haven't. We've
No.
only got out like a couple times.
With the guys.
You know.
It was, 4 or 5 weeks of grind and then
Yeah.
kind of ended.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to quit guiding, so we can all hunt together.
Yeah.
Then we can't afford to hunt.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I know.
Back working all the time.
Price of
Yeah.
fuel, holy.
Yeah.
We'd just be back to hunting on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Weekend
Warriors again.
Yep. Man, we did good back then though. Like I'd come home from Halifax and he'd be working too, like wherever he was doing union pipe fitting or plumbing.
I know.
Not have a clue where anything was.
Yeah.
And we just hit the friggin' road Friday morning, and there wasn't birds everywhere back then like there is now. We literally have to find there'd be birds in like one area, and we'd have to try to find them, and you never knew where that was going to be. It was rough.
This was my third solid year. I kind of went from weekend warrior, one hunt a week to all in
Yeah.
quite quick.
Well, it's become your job.
Do you know
right?
what they call that, Steve?
What do they call that, Matthew?
If you can't beat them, join them.
Hey, I said that fucking Matt Wilson for years.
Yeah. How many times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those words come
Fucking
across
Matt
my
Wilson.
lips.
Fucking Matt Wilson, that mafia.
Yeah. Looking at my birds.
Yeah, looking at my birds.
Stealing
yeah.
my birds.
Stealing
That
your
was where he
birds.
went wrong, thinking they were his birds.
That's right. Yeah.
Me and my 3 dozen decoys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember how'd you get started, Steve?
Yeah,
got
how did you
into
get
water-
started? What
who
got you into waterfowl?
hunting?
Originally,
And Brad.
I started with you. Geez, when I was
When you were a kid.
14.
So
Yeah.
whose birds are they?
They're my birds.
Those
now.
are my birds, Steve.
Whoever's staring at them, whoever's pile they're in.
That's the
super exciting.
entitlement of this younger
I know,
generation,
right?
eh?
Everything's
Staring at
theirs.
my birds.
Yeah.
Young buck, just getting into it.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me a little bit about your waterfowl history.
Yeah, I did my first hunt. I guess it was a youth hunt with you and Wes. It was quite an experience. I don't think we really got much, but we got shot at and got to learn, the ins and outs on what to do and what not to do.
We did get
Yeah.
shot at.
Yeah.
That's
It's
right.
always a good day when you
Yeah,
get
we
shot
had-
at and
You learned
survive.
you learned some cuss words. I don't think
Yeah.
you've probably ever seen me so upset since then, have
Not since then, no. I haven't seen anybody scream like that, but well deserved.
you? Yeah, it was.
And then my dad and I, we did a couple hunts when I was younger. We just set up the same field kind of deal. One of his buddies had a cornfield, and we'd set up there. And, I only got a couple maybe, when I was 16, 17 years old. Didn't really do it again. Kind of got out of hunting.
Because
Little
you grew up in Tobic, huh?
Yeah, I grew up in Plastrock, pretty much.
Plastrock.
Woodstock and Plastrock, back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were some birds up there.
Not like what there is now, at least not that I ever remember seeing.
Right.
But we'd set up on Troy DeMerchant's property. It was my dad's friend. He had cattle and corn, and we kind of had a little blind in the corner. And we'd sit there for days and hope they showed up, and they would sometimes, and sometimes they wouldn't.
Now, did you shoot them out of the air, or did you let them?
We let them land. There was no. We were, that might have been our only rip for the season. So if we could get them in close, then
Yeah. You'd
Line up the head, Stevie.
yep.
You'd stump shoot 'em.
Single shot cooey, yeah,
Yeah.
2 3/4 inch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
steel load.
I love the history of it, eh? Like, and the reason I ask is because I know
Yeah.
that at that time, like when you would have been younger like that everybody would have been letting them land.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been
Oh,
like,
no.
you bring them in and let them land.
Yeah.
Everybody had shell decoys
Yep.
anyway, so you weren't going to shoot your decoys.
You'd walk up to a
generally.
pond of ducks, shoot them all off the water.
I still do that, but
yeah, but,
Yeah.
I've got
So-
a special
Yeah.
relationship
So
with
then,
ducks.
and then I kind of never really did it again. Got working, spent some time deer hunting, spent some time in Alberta. I used to go out quite a bit. I haven't been out in a year or two, but a lot of big game hunting. But got back into waterfowl a few years ago.
There you go, Stevie.
Brad, one of my buddies there, I got him into hunting. He'd never fired a gun, I don't think, before, and I got him on a partridge one morning. And,
How long ago was that?
Geez, that was probably 3 years ago.
I wish he was here.
it'd have
I
to be
know.
more than 3, wouldn't it?
3, maybe 4 years
4
ago. It
years
wasn't very
ago,
long
yeah.
ago. Wasn't very long ago. He fired his first partridge.
Hey, Brad.
Fuck you, Brad.
Wish you were here.
Piece of shit.
I got nothing to add.
Yeah.
You
No,
guys got
But
it?
yeah, and
pretty
then
much
kind
said
of
it
got
all.
him into it. And then a few years later, he messaged me up. Some guy he worked for said, "Hey, I work," or some guy works for him, I should say. Said he's got some decoys, wanted to go hunting. He knew I was a hunter and had the gear, like some gear.
What guy is that now?
Michael Clark.
Michael Clark.
Yeah.
And we got in. We did a little bit of hunting, weekends, kind of first year. Shot a lot of bullets, didn't kill a lot of birds. Got out on the road.
That seems about right. I
Yeah.
think that's still going on. Did you ever ask permission to hunt anywhere, or did you just go?
I was told I always had permission.
Oh,
I'd go find the birds, and I'd say, "Hey, there's birds here," and I was told we could hunt it, so we'd hunt it.
right.
Yeah.
Definitely from doing it now, knowing the farmers and what's
So
going
you're saying
on.
you didn't have a good role model back then?
No, not really. Not really. Well, I thought everything was up and up. Like I was
Yeah.
raised kind of, don't hunt on anybody's property without permission. But, if somebody says, "Hey,
Yeah.
we can hunt here,"
Well, this
You
is the
trust
person.
them, yeah.
Right. Yeah. This
Yeah.
is the person that's
Yeah.
got the decoys
Yeah.
and
yeah,
telling you.
been
know.
doing it. You
Yeah.
don't really know, but learned real quick. Started kind of butting heads, and we kind of one day me and Brad had enough. We split our ways. Went to Cabela's, drove to Moncton 3.5 hours, and dumped every penny we probably had saved on shell decoys and a couple avians, and didn't shoot nothing the next morning. But
Hey,
Felt
you had-
good to do it
yeah,
over your
yeah,
own spread, though,
Right.
Oh,
You
good.
had your own
Yep.
stuff, and you were on your own.
Yep.
Then. Yeah.
with actual
Yep.
permission.
And then I started just putting the miles on. I was running in. I was seeing Matt constantly. Always seeing that truck. It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
And then one day I showed it. We found a field. Me and Brad wanted to hunt. I got a hold of the farmer, and he told me he lets Matt Wilson hunt. So I, hunting with Matt years and years ago, hadn't really talked to him too much. On and off, kind of knew who he was. We stopped in. Ended up hunting together. Had a great hunt. Shot a speck, I think, that day.
So you're saying that I had permission on the field,
Apparently.
and I didn't fight with you, didn't call you any names, and actually said,
Joined us.
"Please,
Joined our hunt.
Stephen, come and join our hunt."
Yep. It was a good hunt.
So the legends maybe aren't that true.
I know, right? That's weird.
Yeah.
It's funny how an actual
Yeah.
experience is different than what
Yeah.
you hear.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, we shot a speck that day. It was one of the real good hunt. We limited out early. I think we seen nice buck walk across their spread.
Geez, that's hard to believe that that's hard to believe that was how we reconnected
Yep.
on that one. I feel
Yeah.
like it was longer ago than that, but yeah, that was
2
good. That was
weeks,
a great day.
Yeah, it was an awesome morning. You know, it was kind of last minute hunt. Hey, there's birds here.
That was 3 years ago because Tank was a puppy. That
Yep.
was his first year.
Yep. Got a bird to remember it by.
Yep.
Sure, it's on Ryan's wall.
Nice juvie spec, probably. Yeah, nice juvie spec. Yeah, came sailing right in.
Yeah.
Nice bird.
Yeah, worked perfectly. I remember you're like, oh, there's a speck there, and you jumped up, shot the speck out of the air, and then yelled, "Take them."
No, it came in as a single.
I think we remember this differently.
The video will tell differently.
Yeah.
But it was a great hunt, though.
I jumped up and shot it, and then Steve said, "Oh, I got that one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've shot a lot of birds since then.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Now Steve understands how to pick them out.
It's
How do
funny
how
how-
did you know that was there?
Isn't it funny though how he says he shoots a lot of birds,
Yeah.
but when we don't shoot, nothing dies.
Oh, yeah, I
Shoot
know.
at a lot
Funny
of
how
birds.
that works.
Not,
Burn some ammo.
not anymore. He's got that new
Yeah.
SB3.
Yeah.
New
Pattern
Benelli.
master in it.
New illegal.
New illegal
SB3.
Benelli.
We'll not get on that train right now,
No.
but that's
Yeah, go give your gun to Trudeau.
I don't have any guns.
We're bad. Yeah, me either. I lost my
I don't
Benelli
either.
in the river there hunting ducks this fall.
Yeah, tragic boating accident.
Yeah, it was too bad.
So yeah, you did that.
Yep. And then we kind of just started. I was putting the miles on. I was kind of at you a lot, saying, "Hey, birds here, birds here, birds here. Let's hunt, let's hunt." You know. And we kind of got a year in hunting. You know, probably weekends, once a weekend or so. The next year, you offered me, kind of the start of COVID. You offered me a few days guiding. You know, and unfortunately, some of the people canceled, but I still got, I think, 3 days in that year.
They found out you were coming.
Yeah. Hey, they loved me.
We don't like the
Nice,
Amish.
friendly New Brunswicker.
Yeah.
Smile.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We're not
smile.
fond of the Amish.
Hey,
What's his problem?
He smells
what's he
funny.
looking at me for?
What's wrong with his facial hair?
That,
Why doesn't his mustache grow?
goes great?
Yeah.
Oh, that picture you with that deer, the haircut,
you like that?
everything.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
That was when I
You-
spent my fall at the Headerite community.
Yeah. Well, you
Man.
must have, because
Yeah.
that's exactly
You
what
look just
like.
like one.
100%. I was at my old man's out there, and his friend walked in. He looked at me across the room. And he says, "Who the hell is this Headerite hanging out in your house?" Never met
Oh,
the guy
man.
before by my life.
We'll put that on our page.
This
Then
is
you'll-
Brother Steven.
Then anybody that listens to this
Great.
podcast,
That'll be
will
the
know.
that'll
Deer
be
hunter.
the
If you-
profile picture for this
Killed
podcast.
me.
It'll
Many
be
big game
if
animals.
you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
Brother Steven and his Alberta buck.
So yeah, you had a few days the first
Yep,
year. Brought
yep,
you on for
yep.
to test you out
Yep.
there.
I hunted a lot still, you know, even the days I wasn't guiding, I was still out on the road. And
Yeah,
I-
hunting a lot.
Yeah. It's almost become an addiction now. It's something I feel like I got to be out doing, so.
Would almost be the word, or
I think addiction would be the
could
word.
you just take that word out of there?
No, I think it's
Let's be-
it's something you can't you know, you get up in the morning, you want to do it, you
yeah.
know.
It's just so fun.
It's so fun.
like it's like a party at the camp.
Yeah.
Like you're literally
You're hanging
cooking
out with the
food, eating
boys.
food, hanging
Yeah.
out, shooting the shit, laughing your friggin' tits off.
You're getting
You
to
get
meet
to
new
call and be active to the
Yep.
animal you're hunting. You get to interact with it, and then you get to shoot like tons of hundreds of rounds a year.
Yep.
Like compared to sitting in a friggin' deer stand by yourself, watching the squirrels, like hardly any interaction, and then just shoot like once a year.
And it's great because you get to intertwine with new people, meet
Yeah.
people. It's their trip of the year. You know, it's the only
Yeah.
thing they're going to do this year, and it's awesome to be able to take them out and enjoy it through them. That's the thing with me with the guide. Like it's nice to see the other people having a good time. That's what I enjoy about it.
So that was 21
Yeah.
through COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, we
That was rough.
did have a tough. That was rough.
was
Yeah,
rough.
we did.
Yeah.
We did have a tough time there with people canceling.
Yeah.
And I mean,
People calling.
you know, the guys really wanted to come, and you know, I mean, some could and some couldn't
Yeah.
get here, and I understand that some people canceled because
Yeah.
it's like literally a 24-hour trip for them to get here, and I get it. So, and thankfully they did come back this year, but this year was
this
your
year.
first
Real
real
year.
full
Yeah.
year.
Well, not full, half weeks, but I was out every day.
Yeah, we were.
You know, if I wasn't out hunting, I was guiding. If I wasn't guiding, I was scouting.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
every morning, Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
No days off.
Just driving her.
Driving her.
And
I,
wouldn't have it any other way.
I would do it for another month if I could.
Me too.
Yep. In a minute, get
I,
up.
I would love to.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to quit my day job.
Yeah. Oh, tell me
I'd
about
join you.
So what did you think of this year, Steve? Just it being a little more steady and running like that. I mean, because regardless of whether we were doing it 6 days a week or not, we were on the road, you know, trying to help Ryan
Yeah.
or staying ahead of
Yeah.
what we had on the go too, right? I mean, it wouldn't pay us to start scouting on Wednesday when
No.
we're going to hunt Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So
We want to know where every bird is. We want to know where the roosts are, where they're coming from. You know, to be successful every day, like I'd say we were. You know, we really didn't have any bad days.
no,
Like we never sat in the field once and
didn't
yeah,
see birds or
see
didn't
bird-
have
shoot
an
birds.
opportunity
Yeah,
to
like,
shoot
there was
birds.
lots of, and that was because we were out. You know,
And I think, like, what I want to do, the whole object of this the whole purpose of this is to give people the best opportunity we can to shoot birds. And we don't have leased fields here. We don't own ground.
Speak for yourself. I have 12 acres.
Yeah. I have 40, but it has no geese on it. Hopefully at some point we get it cleared a little more. It might be a goose hill.
That'd be funny to shoot them up on that side hill.
Oh, I'm telling you. But the whole point is to give people the best opportunity we can to get on birds. And I mean, one day they might hunt here, and then the next day they might be 45 minutes from here. And that's not by chance. That's because we've put the miles on. We know those birds are there. We've checked on them. We never go to a field that doesn't have birds in it. And really, the guys that have been here a few years, I think, know. But nobody really knows how much work we
No.
put into this. Like, we do not set you in fields and
just to do
say
it.
say you'll see birds here. Like, we want guys to shoot limits
Yeah.
every day. We're putting on thousands of. How many miles do you put on in
Just in
October?
guiding season, I put over 5,000 on my vehicle because I
Right.
did an oil change just before.
Yeah.
30 days.
Yeah. So there you go. So over 10,000 kilometers.
And essentially, I live in goose country. Like we hunted 5 minutes from my house, you know, half a dozen times.
Yeah.
You know, so
And I mean, it doesn't matter whether we've got, like you said it well. We want to know where everything is.
Yeah.
We want to have options. We want to know that this roost has 250 on it, and then tomorrow morning there's 400 there. We know we got birds that moved in. Like, if they come into the county and we don't know about them, it's rare.
yeah.
And that's not to try to be egotistical or anything
No,
like
it's
that.
just the way it has to be.
It's just the way that it has
This
to be.
isn't Alberta. You're not hunting a million geese.
Yeah.
And
right?
that's in a, that's in a, what would it be? Well, it's 40 kilometers to Florenceville, so we'll say,
It's about 1 hour from the bottom of the
Our
Bottom
hunter
of the
territory
range.
to
Yep.
the top.
and that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we
dozens of roosts.
yeah, dozens of roosts, and
Yeah.
we stay in communication with one another constantly, and we're just on it
Yep.
all the time. And maybe other guys don't run that way, but that's the way we want to do it.
And it's just not our guides either. Like it's everybody. We've
Yeah.
got other people that hunt with us. You know, Brad's out every day. We got
Every day,
Yeah.
yep.
Ryan, we're not guiding for him. We're out tracking birds down. We just want to be on everything.
Yeah, we just want to know, and that doesn't mean that we're trying to hoard birds or like take them away from other people. That's just for us. Like, lots of times, guys were going to hunt fields that we had permission on, and I had guys call me this fall. Hey, they said you were going to hunt this field this week, and I'm like, yeah, that's true. We were going to hunt it tomorrow. You guys are interested? Yeah, you guys go ahead. We'll find another spot. Like, we don't step on locals' toes here ever. Like, and that's part of the other reason why we put the miles on. We try to stay out of people's way too. I mean, yeah, we're doing this for a living, but at the same time, it wasn't always this way.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of times that before this that we were, like you said, Wes, it'd be a Friday and we get off work and want to go hunting, and we've taken tons of locals hunting this year. Like, will we ever get invited to go with them? Probably
We never get invited.
Probably not.
We
you
never
know.
get invited by anybody ever.
Probably not. But to keep good relations with guys and like try to change how things are here and try to work together, because this is very competitive.
Yep.
that's what we do.
We
and I
did,
mean, we're putting good into the world, hoping that maybe it'll come back around at some point when we're hard up and going, man, we've got like nothing,
Yeah.
and run into a guy and, hey boys, we got lots here, and hopefully that'll pay off in the end. Somebody will repay that along the line when we need it.
Yeah.
So
The Thanksgiving hunt we did this year, that's one that I really remember. We, the cornfield by my place. Remember we hunted with all the younger kids? Rowan was there.
Yep.
We had Culberson.
that was a good day. Thanksgiving Monday.
Thanksgiving Monday.
I,
Yep.
I always have a group on Thanksgiving Monday, a one-day group, and they actually ended up having to cancel. And we hunted with Ethan.
Yep.
And I can't think of his buddies' names, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you know them. But anyway, a few of Ethan's buddies, which was good. Dave Antworth came, lives right there, and Rowan was there. And man, what a friggin' great! Wasn't that a great hunt?
Yeah. We got 2 shots at ducks. We shot 25 ducks.
Yeah,
2 volleys.
Very
like cut them in half.
holy.
Flock chopped.
Yeah, it was something. That was a great day. And I mean, to guide and do that as much as we do, and then on a day, basically a day we could have had
Yeah.
off,
Yep.
because it was a Monday. I mean, we could have we'd been grinding hard, and that was, getting pretty wore out. We could have taken that day off, but instead, it was like,
Yep.
why wouldn't we go hunt?
Yeah.
And man, that was so much fun.
Yep. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hunted the corn. Ducks cooperated. Shot a limit of geese.
Silage corn,
Yeah.
yeah. Got my young dog out. That was
Yep.
fun.
Yeah, she got some ducks in.
Mm-hmm.
Some of her first retrieves.
Yeah, at the end of it. So it was nice to see a dog like that blossom and start to come up through the ranks a little bit. This being her first season. But yeah, it was a good guiding season, and you held up. You held up
yeah.
well. I mean, we've
Loved it.
said it for a long time. Like, it takes a special type of person to do this.
Yeah.
And like, hey, you can go out on the weekends and grind and whatever, but to do this every day, like, even if you're not outside, like, in a blind, you're still grinding, scouting up every day, same
Still
time,
sleeping 3-4 hours at a time.
Yep,
napping.
trying to get your sleep in
Yep.
the afternoon, trying to stay alive, because a lot of times it's not like, you could be week 3, worn out, miss a few afternoons where you should have laid down or got to bed late a few nights, and the second that you take a little bit of downtime, you're sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ryan especially, one year for sure, and this year he got pretty sick
Yeah. Once.
once there, but 1 year there he was real sick.
Yeah.
But
I can see why. It's hard. It's, getting out of bed. You just went to bed 3
missing-
hours before getting
Missing
up.
sleep
feeling
like that is the
crap.
worst freaking
Yeah.
thing you can do for yourself.
and we're smart about it, but I never. Next year will be different. October next year, I won't. Maritime dog training's going to take a little
Pause.
hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be booking for November, and that'll be it, because I never, like, twice I laid down in the afternoon, and I really needed to, but I always had clients booked. I always had 2 or 3 clients booked every afternoon, because I
Yeah.
wanted to keep that going, and one time I did get a pretty good snooze in the afternoon. The other time somebody showed up looking for dog food, and right in the middle of it, and I couldn't actually get back to sleep. But I said next year, but you learn as you go,
Yep.
right? Like next year, and we know now, like before we wouldn't have done that. We would have been like, oh, we'll stay up all night, and I mean, you can't roll like
Man,
that.
we used to do that all the friggin' time.
And remember,
For
like,
1 day a week, sure.
yeah, at the start of the season, remember what I said to you there? I said, it's not a race, it's a marathon. Like, we're looking to survive here for
Make it
5
to the
weeks.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by week 3, 4, getting into week 5 especially, when you know that...
We
you
both
know-
got sick.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We spent a day sick
Yeah.
there. And odd, eh?
Yeah.
Same thing,
Just
basically.
wiped us out for 24 hours or so. And then
Yeah.
Back to our feet.
And I knew as soon as I laid down and I felt cold, I was like,
Yeah.
shit, I'm sick. It's
Yeah.
coming on. I friggin' laid the Tylenol in there, but we didn't miss any time.
Me neither. Luckily, it fell on an off day. It didn't have.
Yeah. Fell on a Sunday for
Yep.
both of us, I
Yep.
think, or a
Yep.
Monday or something. So, yeah. But it's a grind. I mean, we had We had 5 groups this year, and every group did good. I mean, the last group was a pretty good grind. We had a lot of stale birds. It was warm, super warm all fall, like
20 degrees the end of October.
Yeah, and then snow and right down to next to nothing. So
Yeah.
that didn't help anything. But
Made her though. I think everybody was happy.
So something else obviously was new for you. Was you got a new gun? You haven't really got to try it yet much, but
I've fired
you got a new
3
gun and you
boxes
got some
of
new gear though too.
I've got new everything.
Clothing
this year.
and stuff. So
You know, I'm not that old, but so far in my hunting
How old
career,
are you?
30. Just
30,
turned 30
yeah.
this year. You know, I've been hunting with my old man since I was little, but we just kind of,
hey, Steve,
but
that's fucking old. Okay?
hey, young. Still young yet.
what were you wearing for clothing before you?
When I
upgraded?
first started, I had a Hunt Shield bibs, I believe. Maybe Yukon gear from Canadian Tire.
Like Brad,
Like
with
Brad.
with the orange on
Mine's
'em?
didn't have orange. Mine didn't have orange.
Have a bite of that. Don't wave your hand at me. Okay, I said a bite, Steve, not half of it. Fuck, you're greedy.
Yeah. Fucking eating after you.
Give the guy a little chocolate bar and he takes half it.
I need 100 of those calories. But, yeah.
Just a short break here. We're just having a nice little protein bar.
Keep our energy up. Blood sugar up.
Keep your energy up. Have a drink of that apple pie. I'll straighten you out.
But pretty much I was running whitetail hunting gear, which sucked.
Made sense, though.
Yeah, it made sense. That's what I did. That's the only thing I'd really done. You know, I'd spent a lot of time whitetail hunting in New Brunswick and Alberta. Killed a few deer over the years.
Well,
and
it was in your budget,
Yeah, it was what I had.
right? Like you weren't guiding. I mean, obviously you guided some bear hunters and you guided a lot of waterfowl hunting and you made
Yep.
some money hunting.
This year.
So,
Yeah, and I invested all that right back in
Yeah.
gear because, you know,
Good for you.
if you're sitting out there for 30 days at a time, you got to be warm.
You're
warm and comfortable.
You got to be dry. You got to be comfortable.
Yeah.
you're trying to survive
Mm-hmm.
the whole time. I mean,
Yep.
it doesn't pay not to put a little bit of extra money in your
Yeah.
in your gear, right?
And
Yeah.
what a difference on my mentality.
Well,
Up
and you
every
can wear
morning
so
was
much,
easy.
and you can wear so much less and still be warm.
Because I mean, you got
And you
cold
can move.
easy.
I'm almost cold now. You know, throw another block of
Are
wood
you
in the fire.
shitting me?
I can
I'm
put my
like,
sweater
look,
on.
like I'm sweating, man. Like the back of my neck's glowing.
So imagine when I'm sitting out there and it's -10, the wind's blowing.
A day like today,
Yeah,
I don't know
I-
how you survived
yeah.
without sitting gear on.
What a difference! Like I gotta say, I've never experienced that before. Where I can go put on just a thin shirt, a sweater, and a
it's hard to
windbreaker.
take
Yeah,
the plunge though to spend that kind of money.
it's awful.
It's hard.
I'm the cheapest
until
person
you
you'll
do
ever
it.
meet.
It's worth it though,
It's
eh?
worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I've been so comfortable, been dry. We hunted in that hurricane.
Yeah,
My hands were wet.
I know.
You know?
That's like me.
Yeah.
That nice.
Yeah.
I just bought a Dew Point
It was raining.
How
so,
was that?
Oh, that was good.
pants and jacket.
Protein.
Man, I didn't mind. I have always had like the Helly Hansen stuff,
Yeah.
which isn't bad by any means, but just man, it's just nice in the
I
Gore-Tex.
want the
It's so
dew,
comfortable.
the dew point stuff for fishing in the spring. They're gonna give
yeah,
us that.
that's
You'll
what I
love
want.
it.
Yeah.
When I got that for dog training this summer, huge game changer because it rained a lot this summer.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. The gear, that's the thing. If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it. Anything nowadays is gonna cost you money. If you're gonna have a hobby,
yeah.
you're gonna have to put money into it. Why not be comfortable? Why not
Yeah.
be warm?
Well, why
dry?
exactly? Like, why spend a bunch of money on everything else
Yeah.
and then go out there on a day like today, which is probably, in my opinion, the hardest day to stay warm
Yep.
on, and probably the worst day to hunt on. It's just not a good. I don't know what low pressure with like a lot of
damp,
moisture. Just
yeah.
a lot of moisture in the air. It's just for me. These are always shitty days to hunt.
Yeah.
Just birds
Yeah.
don't
Yep.
work or move or.
Yeah. It's just so nice to be dry. That's my big thing. Windproof, dry. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
And
when
I'm not
it's-
bulked up. I'm not wearing 6 layers.
I mean,
2 sweaters and
That's the thing. That closet right there is clear full of my old hunting gear that
Yeah.
I'm gonna sell it off. I got like 2 3-in-1 parkas and
I feel
big
bad
old
for
beds.
Ben. He got my old gear. I
Like-
gave it to him.
Like,
Did ya?
man, you
Yeah,
look
it's
at those
good.
old
Still good
3-in-1
shape,
parkas
but
and
just,
stuff.
you know,
good for you.
Not
Trying to hunt
fancy.
and shoot and that stuff. My goodness, man, that'd be a nightmare.
He's gonna take a couple sexy photos for me. In return.
Yeah,
That's nice of him.
Boudoir
Hopefully,
pics.
My
he'll,
OnlyFans.
hopefully he'll share it with a bunch of us.
Yeah.
yeah.
I haven't seen that. But I mean, once you like, I started out with nothing.
Yeah.
Too right.
Well,
I mean, I
everybody
had
did.
I look back at our old pictures and I'm like,
Frig man, how many times did we hunt and would be just like drenched straight to the friggin' core of our underwear?
Yeah.
Like,
Every time.
friggin' soaked,
Every time
man,
that there
laying
was-
on the ground.
Any time that there was any amount of saturation in the air, you were soaked.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have anything. And then
After
like-
a couple years, we got some nice bibs
2000
and stuff.
Yeah, like 2007, I remember buying stuff from Cabela's. I
Yeah.
bought bibs,
Yeah.
and I bought a jacket which didn't fit, and then
And now I bought the
and then you
jacket.
bought it off me. And
Yeah.
those bibs, like, never had anything. And I was 22 years old
Yeah.
at the time. Like, never had anything,
That was the
bibs
nicest
or
gear,
nothing.
yeah.
I had like just camouflage pants.
Oh
They were
yeah,
just
we had
cotton
friggin'
pants.
camo pants from Martin's.
Yep.
Cotton friggin' camo pants.
Yeah,
Is
didn't
what
it?
we wore, and we would be like literally soaked. They'd be stuck right to our legs, soaked right through, and like a hoodie and a
And couldn't
vest or something.
Couldn't get. I had that shadowgrass stuff, I guess, but it was like junk
Yeah.
by that time. And I remember paying like $400 for it, and it really wasn't warm, and it really
Yeah.
wasn't rainproof or any of that stuff. And I'll tell you, once I started getting Sitka,
Yeah.
like once I got hooked up with those guys, and again they've been. I
They've
just
been
can't
the
tell.
best.
I can't tell you how good they've been
Yep.
to me. Like they guys like Dave Bishop, you know, Matt McCormick when he was in there, Trevor now, like just the absolute salt of the earth, best guys you'd want to meet. real solid guys to deal with, and you know, just super down to earth, just like we are. And everybody that I've met, like when I went down to the sheep show in Reno, like I went to the booth, and like all the girls there, like everybody you meet there is kind of the same thing. Just, you know, loves to hunt, you know, just for the sake of being outside and hunting, and just super good people and helpful. And I don't know. Anyway, as far as the gear goes, it's been a game changer for me.
It's been probably the biggest game changer.
It's not
really.
just clothing
100%.
anymore. It's not just a piece of fabric on your back.
No, it fits.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me. And I've never wanted to get out there. And that's probably why I hated wearing a jacket so much, is because I just couldn't stand being all
I just love
constricted.
how it's tailored for
Yeah.
athletic, muscular.
I'm a
build.
smaller guy. Most stuff, like I'm a smaller guy. Most stuff I buy is big. It's
Yeah.
bulky. It doesn't fit right. It rides high. You go to
It's always
shoulder
big
your
in the
gun.
guts.
Yeah, like it's, you know, this stuff. Like I went with mediums. You know, large is a little bit too big, but it fits so nice. There's no catching on your shoulder and your gun.
Yeah.
You're moving around trying to get in your pockets. You're not grunting and wheezing and
Yeah, it's built.
Yeah.
It's built to hunt out of.
yeah.
Like it
Some
makes
thought went into it.
makes sense. Every part and piece of whatever garment you're wearing, you can bet that somebody toiled over how they should make that, and probably scrapped it 4 or
Yep.
5 other times
Yep.
to make.
They
little
definitely
changes.
took notes off of like outdoors, like hikers and backpackers.
The hoods
stuff
and
like
stuff, like
Yeah.
all those core pieces. Like, again, when I first started wearing it, it never made sense to me to ever have a piece of core clothing with a zipper in it. And now I can't imagine. I can't believe that I didn't. Because now, like when you start out in the morning, it's cold. But when you start, to
But you're
pick-
working.
Yeah, when you start to pick
Yeah.
up decoys, you know, you can peel her like an onion.
Yep.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, a hunt here, you can start 0 degrees first thing in the morning to 15 degrees by the time you're done.
Last year, hunting Sean Padgett's ground, we drove in on the frozen potatoes, set up, went to pick up and drive out on the frozen ground that was no longer frozen. And, you know, right there, you know, that was a 20-degree difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You get in those messes, and you got to be dressed for the same thing.
yeah, you better try that.
Jeepers.
That's good stuff right there.
I'm really hoping we can get into a couple duck hunts this year.
Thank you,
Still.
Stanley Roper.
Is that who that's from, Stanley?
Stan,
Good
yeah.
night.
Stan d'Entremont.
And kind of back to the gear, the thing that surprised me the most is the amount of guys that showed up and looked at what we had and said, "This is what you need. This is what
We're just playing past the liquor here.
this is what you guys wear. This is what we need." And you know, went out and bought new gear.
Yeah, literally,
Yep.
out of our second group, 2 of the guys saw what we had
like
on.
that?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he. You see the little dance he
He
did?
just- ooh,
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
yeah, he likes that.
Oh, yeah.
Saw the gear that we had on. What suit is that you got on?
Where do you get that?
We got the Hudson suit here. Where do you get that? Go
Oh,
down,
yeah.
Go down to the gun dealer. He's
2.5 hours away.
Yeah, he's got
Holy
lots of that down there. Go down.
How much did they spend all together?
Go
down
down
there?
and see Ross. They bought bibs and a jacket.
I think they spent like $3,000 or more.
Yeah, bibs and a jacket, and I think they might even have bought. I'm pretty sure they bought hats and gloves.
Yeah.
And the next day it was raining uphill.
Yeah.
Storm, the
Yeah.
worst day on existence.
That was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. I think it might have been Stance that was beside me. Whoever, happy, dry. That's what I said. How are you feeling? He's like, dry,
Dennis.
comfortable. Dennis.
Another
Dennis,
another good thing that was a major improvement is those friggin' not a sponsor tangle-free blinds.
Yeah,
Oh.
Holy shit!
yeah,
There
definitely.
were lids over us, like
Yep.
being able to film with Ben's camera gear and that
Oh,
hurricane. Like
letting the guys see too. That's a big thing.
if we were in a different blind, we would have never been able to film anything.
That was such
Nothing.
a good investment, and that's the other thing too. I mean, you look at guys like Tom that have been here since the start of this. You know, Tom came up here hunting with me before I even really guided.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like only took one group a year, and we were sitting on friggin' pails with
Yep.
no covers on them, like
Yeah.
just and building blinds, and then we got those other blinds, and then we got chairs, and then this year I know I had a few more groups the year before, and I invested a lot of money this year,
a lot of new equipment.
a lot of new equipment, like over $20,000, and everybody that came was like, "Wow, nice trailer!"
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, nice trailer, nice blind.
new trailer, eh? And then the boys when they got in the blind are like, "Wow, you're
Roomy.
right."
Man,
This-
Yeah, comfortable.
lots of room. The lid over the top
Yeah.
is the answer, though.
Yeah.
That's the friggin'
and that
ticket.
made me feel good, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want guys to come here and be like, "Well, it's the same gear we've hunted over for 100 years
Yeah.
and nothing ever changes." And you want guys to want to come here and brag about the fact that, hey, well, when we're there, like we're not laying on
Yeah.
the ground, or if we could have pit blinds like they have in Minnesota and
Yeah.
other places,
Oh,
I would
we'd do
love
that
that.
in a minute.
I would definitely do that.
We
100%.
couldn't put people on birds that way though.
Exactly. We just couldn't do it. We just wouldn't shoot anything.
Yeah.
There'd
You'd
be a
see
couple.
birds.
There'd be a
Yeah.
couple times.
I'll tell you what, we need to go and do ourselves a layout blind hunt just to just to realize how good we got it.
I'm good.
Holy
I don't want to lay in
shit!
the mud.
Yeah.
Oh man, me either.
Yeah.
Blind bag sitting outside the blind in the mud and buried, and just laying on the frickin' ground.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
That was rugged. But guys really did appreciate that, and the fact that, again, with our other blinds, you couldn't see, and if guys wanted to see, they were going to have to peek up over, and
And they're-
it's
Holes in those
it's
tanks.
Pie face.
half of the fun
Yeah.
is being able to see, and I get that. And so the fact that they've got those viewing holes in the front, and then we had the lids on the top, which not only kept the weather out but hid everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, we had tons of birds fly over us this year that didn't flare.
No,
they
very
didn't.
few.
They didn't see us. They flew right over us and would finish. Lots. Quite a few days we had the wind, just the way it was that we had to have it in our face, and the birds would be finishing coming over our back.
Could
into
have
the
grabbed them.
In the decoys,
Yeah.
could have grabbed them, like dragging their feet over the top. So it was super, super good that way. Yeah.
what did you say last week? Shoot him in the dickhead.
Shoot them right in the nutsack.
Nutsack, yeah.
coming right over our back.
Right over. I was like in the video. I had that 360 cam on my gun. And you can, you were like kill them, and I pulled up. I'm like, where are they? And I had looked up. Like, oh shit, they were coming right over our head. Low.
Yeah, they spun right on my
you could
corner.
see me pull up. Like, where are they? Look up, and then read the shoulder, and then shoot. I was like,
Yeah.
holy
That was a
shit.
good hunt.
That was
Oh.
Lost my
freaking
keys in
awesome.
the car. We swamped
The video
truck.
disappoints me though. My interview at the end, it sounded like I had a terrible time. I had a friggin' blast.
Oh yeah.
I sound like a musty old fart.
You were.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you are getting old.
But-
Starting
Yeah.
to stink a little.
it was definitely fun.
Just gotta
That was a
reach
friggin'
across,
blast.
stab
Stank as
that.
long as I've known him.
Yeah, I noticed how he
Starting
doesn't
to.
pass it back.
Yeah, no, he's that way.
It just kind of stays over there.
Better watch that liquor around me.
That's a Hutter
No
right
shit.
in him, eh?
Yeah.
They'll
The
just
Hutterite.
take
We can
and
drink.
take and take.
Just gonna hoard everything.
Yeah, they can. That's true.
Brother Steven's just gonna
Built for
keep
two
it all.
things, and one of them's drinking.
I don't
Huh?
even know what the other one's for.
Yeah, yeah. That was a great day. For me, like this is my social. Like when we can, and a lot of the times that day I never even shot. Like I just like to be there with everybody
It's
because
just fun.
we don't like, that's the time when we get together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody, like, when I watch that video, one of the best parts for me is how excited and happy
Everybody's laughing.
everybody is, but Robert Oakes,
Yeah.
for sure. Because I mean, Robert's a busy friggin' guy.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's constantly hammering around on that farm in a tractor, scratching ground somewhere. You know, you got that much equipment around, there's always something needs tended to.
Can't get workers.
It can't get workers and stuff, and a busy year, and trying to get your crops in. And, like, when you get to take a guy like that out and hunt with you, like, man, like, he had a good time. That just does my heart good.
Matt Guess.
Yeah.
He
Matt
almost
Guess.
seemed like he
Matt Guess.
enjoyed, like when he said gotta go pull you out. He
Yeah.
tipped right up and away he went.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Grab the tractor.
Yeah.
Try her again. Try her again.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Ryan and I are up there at the farm. He come back from pulling you out. Like, it's raining sideways and
Yep.
freaking cold on the verge of snowing.
Yep.
He piles out of the
Yep,
tractor,
happy
just
as can be.
happier than a
Yeah.
pig and shit. We the three of us stood there in the piss pouring rain,
After he
shooting the
just ruined his
shit,
field.
just talking, shooting the shit, and
Yeah.
friggin' just.
I look at, and
Frick,
he's
that's fun.
Matt's so calm and dry. I look out the window
Yeah.
and I'm just buried,
Yeah.
pretty near right to the
Oh.
rockers. I'm like, "What do you think, Matt?" "I think you need a tractor.
Yeah.
I'll go get one." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah.
Yeah, man. When you guys, when we were sitting way down by the road, we were watching you. He drug you across the field, and then your lights were still on, and you guys weren't moving. And we were starting to wonder, like, he didn't get the tractor stuck, did he? He didn't
We
drive
got
that
bigger
into a
tractors.
friggin'.
He
He's like,
friggin'
they were like, "There's no way that tractor got stuck."
he never even sunk.
No,
there was
I don't understand that. I mean,
when
that
he-
tractor's giant.
when he pulled me out of that hole, I went like 30 feet on top and
And
then
then
sunk again.
yeah.
And I pretty much sunk the whole way out, and he never even hardly made it down.
And it's not like that has super wide tires on it.
Yeah, I don't.
And I mean, what would that
no.
damn thing weigh? That was a big friggin'
Big tractor. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a good
big
sized
tractor.
tractor. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Funny though.
yeah.
But I knew when I pulled up in there. I was like, I should have come, but I probably
Come
would
down
have
the hill.
got. I probably would have got stuck at the
Yeah.
top.
Trying to turn.
Well, I probably would have got stuck coming across that top part because it was wet too. But
Everywhere's wet.
anyway, I mean, normally we would never
No.
do that. Like if there was a chance that we might get
We
stuck.
lugged stuff a lot this year.
Ryan, he made her out though.
Yeah, he gave
Man,
it.
he put that thing right to the floor.
Yeah.
He looked like a snake going out of the field. The trailer and the truck were just going like a
Yeah.
snake. Just
Yeah.
friggin'
But he's driving an aluminum Ford, no dog box.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh, your
My
thing
truck
weighs
is-
a ton.
My truck is heavy.
Yeah.
But-
Weighs a ton.
Yeah. Good time though. That was a,
That was
great
a
hunt.
friggin' wicked hunt.
I mean honestly, like those are the days again that
Shot a lot of birds.
Had
Had a shit ton of laughs.
we did.
And the weather was
Man,
crazy.
I mean, the past couple times that we've tried to do that, it hasn't worked. But there's been a few factors there that I knew in the back of my head that weren't in our favor. And on this hunt particular, we'll just stay focused on this one. I mean, we'll set it up for you if you didn't watch. We had like 1,500 birds in this field or more.
I think more.
And could have been 2,000. And they had been in that field for like a week, and there was corn cut on the other side of the terrace from them, but it wasn't bush hogged. And if that corn would have been bush hogged on like Tuesday or Wednesday, the week that we hunted there, they would have got in there, and that would have sustained them.
Yeah.
And we probably would have shot more, but just
The
the
weather
way
changed though too. It went
just-
from cold -3, -4
Yeah.
to what was it that morning, like 10 degrees?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other field that they didn't. I don't actually think that it's a field they wanted to go to. I think they just ran out of food.
Yeah.
Was close enough that they just shoestringed.
I
which-
got a feeling like there's no way in frig that they wanted to be in that dirt field or the potato field. I feel like about every 5 days, geese just need to go to the dirt to get grit or something like that.
Well, they
Because if you look in the field, there was still corn in the field.
yeah.
Or they could have walked over the terrace, or there was still plenty of feed there. I think they just need to go to dirt because they've done that. Anytime we leave a field for a few days, they always seem to, when we go hunt it, they always just seem to transition and jump into like a dirt field, potato field, or something like Oh, that sounded a little more serious.
Was that my dog or your dog?
Running a dog fighting ring upstairs.
Huh?
Running a dog fighting ring upstairs.
Yeah.
It sounded like a real high-pitched growl. It sounded like yours
He
growling
would,
at mine.
Boog would never growl at another dog.
No?
No friggin' way. No, he's...
Maybe he's standing up for himself.
Well, maybe he is now, but I doubt it. He's quite a pansy. Not really pansy, he's just a pop. He must have got a little too close.
Well, I mean, that field, every day there was birds in the potatoes, which was below that.
Yeah.
And then the corn. And then towards the end, there was a fair amount of birds across the road, too.
Yeah.
And I had a feeling, I'm like, we're probably going to get into a bunch, but regardless of what we put out here for decoys, the other ones are going to be so close landing that they're just going to shoot straight.
I mean, ideally, it would have been best to hunt it on like a Wednesday or something.
It would have been
but,
if we could have got on it a little sooner,
but not everyone can go on Wednesday.
that's gonna happen again. It will.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've killed like we did good. I mean, I don't know how many we shot. We must have shot close to 60.
Yeah.
Which is still, I mean, that's still a stellar hunt. But
Yeah. And I mean, that's with Steve and Brad not hitting anything.
Yeah.
right,
We still killed
Right?
that many.
You
shooting,
know?
yeah,
Like,
shooting left-handed with his eyes crossed.
yeah.
I fired through some rounds, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I made sure that new Benelli
Broker ain't good.
got broke in. I probably fired a box and a half of bullets.
Oh,
Good for
Birds
you.
wouldn't even be in the air and I'd just shoot.
I'd like to shoot. I like to shoot.
Yeah.
yeah. It's fun.
I shot a lot of bismuth at the end of the year.
That's about all I shot this year
Yeah.
for the few hunts I get out on, like every weekend or whatever.
I just ran Kent number 2. It's pretty well all years. What I shot
Yeah.
my birds with.
3-inch.
3-inch, yeah.
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 And I made the switch at the end. My Benelli could shoot 3.5, so
Yeah.
switched to BB. But
You run some 3.5 BBs,
yeah, oh yeah.
packs a bit of a punch.
Packs. What a difference from the 3-inch number 2s to 3.5 BBs.
Yeah.
Hang
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, big time, especially
Yeah.
out of an inertia
Yeah.
gun like that.
Yeah, going from a gas-driven gun to an inertia.
Yeah. Yeah, big difference there. I like if I'm shooting steel, which I do most of the time. till
That's
later.
all I shoot now, even upland hunting.
Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like later in the year, like this time of year, I like to shoot bismuth or tungsten. And I mean, look, I know that it's expensive, but you know, if you're you're hunting water and you're hunting divers, and you knock one down,
And
like
they're tough.
even you're not gonna whack cripples probably with bismuth, but I mean, you may not have any if you're I love shooting golden eyes, or if we're hunting sea ducks with stuff like that, because those friggin' things are tough, eh?
Yep.
Super dense feathers, and you're able to use that. And I don't know if this is just a maritime thing, but I know that there's a lot of guys in the Maritimes, and I'm going to throw Newfoundland in there too, because Newfoundland should be part of the Maritimes. But a lot of people in the Maritimes definitely believe in that if you're shooting a smaller shot size, that it gets through those denser feathers better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's all the way up through the bird. I mean, some people say, well, geez, I mean, you shouldn't be shooting them in the body. It's all in the head. I mean, you're not always going to hit them in the head. That's just the way it is. You're just not. I don't care how much you shoot. So
Conditions are never perfect.
they're never perfect. That's exactly right. So late in the year, I like to shoot that stuff. But most of the time, like through October and that, I'd definitely be shooting 3.5-inch BB fast steel
Yeah.
on geese. And I know that we had a lot of clients that shot Kent this year, but they had a hard time finding it too.
Every ammo. But yeah, Kent was,
The prices are
Non-existent.
crazy.
yeah.
Too,
On everything.
Yeah.
On everything.
We were lucky to get some, but yeah, I had no problem with my Kent this year. I fired a couple boxes of it. No misfires, no nothing, no jams, no.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to take that gun of yours out and pattern it.
I already did.
Oh,
The
did you?
first day I got it, yeah, I took it out and I put 20, 30, and 40.
I put my pattern master in it right away.
And
What do you shoot for pattern master?
it's the Code Black Goose, I
Okay.
believe it is.
Yeah.
Happened to fit both my guns. So
We all
that's it.
shoot pattern masters and have for a long time. We get a lot of questions like that about our gear, and anytime we get a chance to talk about it now, we've just resolved ourselves to using that time to talk about it, to making sure that we talk, even if it's redundant, like on every one of these podcasts. Like maybe guys don't listen to other ones where we talk about gear, so we're passionate about it because people want to know what we're using
all the time.
All the time, and we talk about it because it works, and that's why we use stuff. Like, is Ken a sponsor of ours? Yes, but we use it because it works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
We didn't hit up any other companies.
no,
We hit them up because we liked their stuff.
like
and
Sitka
it
gear.
worked out.
We use it because it works.
Yeah.
Try it and tell us we're wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Pattern Masters.
Pattern Master,
Yeah.
you know,
We've
shot
all
them.
got one.
Shot them for years.
We're not
Frig.
spending that money for no reason.
No,
Yeah.
every shotgun I have has an extended. I
Well,
like
the
the
trade-in.
I like the I like the I like the classic extended.
I use
Ported.
extended range too. Yeah.
Yeah, just but you know, they definitely have lots, and if you're looking for a custom choke, man, they've been around for a long time.
But your shooting's got to be on, because if you miss them by an inch, you're going to be...
Well, see, that's the thing too, because people are like, "Oh, what choke should I run?" I'm like, look, realistically, most of us learned how to shoot with a full choke.
Yeah.
Like most people didn't learn how to shoot with a gun that had interchangeable chokes most times.
Yeah.
And even if you did, it will make you a better shot, because you're right. You either hit it or you don't, and if
Yeah.
you hit it, everything's there.
Yep.
And if you don't,
flies away.
then you know.
Yep.
You know.
Less
So
cripples, for sure.
yeah, it makes you become a better shot. You shoulder your gun properly first, and then you focus on putting one good shot downrange.
Yeah.
And that's what I certainly tell people. Like, look, you're not out here to empty your gun every
Yeah.
time if you're shooting from the hip. Like, can the dog go 300 yards and pick up that wounded bird? Yeah,
Can.
but he doesn't need to do it all morning, every day.
Yeah.
We'd like them to all die right in the decoys.
Right out front of the blind. Or in the blind.
Yeah, or in the
Ethical
blind.
kill.
Right
Kills.
upside of Clark's head.
Clark Rayner.
How's that
Ethical
head?
kills.
Yeah, how's your head?
He caught one with his face this year.
I caught one with my hand. Clark caught one with his head.
And got that all on video, and you can hear Robert hollering. Robert shot it right in the head, and it fell right into Clark. Boom.
Yeah. Definitely gonna be on your toes. Ready to defend yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got hit with a goose once way back in the day. Bent my layout blind and everything.
Yeah, that was a good one. Tell
Yeah.
that story.
I don't even hardly remember it now. I just remember we were hunting in the snow that day. Is that the day your gun malfunctioned? And I get pictures of you working on it.
Oh
right in the
yeah,
layout?
geez, that old brown and gold. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was late season in the snow, and the friggin' geese were big. And we all set up to shoot, and I don't know if I shot it or Matt shot it or whatever, but anyway, it came down, landed right on the crossbar, and like where your shins are. Frig, that bruised my shins, bent that bar right in. Like it was a big bird. It did some damage.
We had a lot of. I mean, we still have a lot of fun, but geez, we had a lot of fun back then.
Man, did we ever?
I say that all the time. I think probably every hunt. Like, who has more fun than us?
That's probably one thing that I do miss about layout blinds is the in your face.
Yeah.
Like,
But I like
landing
being
right
I like
on
being
you.
able to talk, and I like to be able to see the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
next to you, his reaction, how he's handling things.
It's definitely much safer having people in a blind
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Like, I mean, those viewing ports, like we told guys, put your gun up and through those.
Yeah.
It cannot fall over.
Yeah.
Like, our main number one thing is safety, and we hunt a lot of times with big groups, and the main that is our main deal. We do not want
Yeah.
anybody to have an accident, and man, when you're in layout blinds, like, I mean, we know one guy from the area there for sure that shot holes in the ground and like was just not safe.
Yep. It
So,
happened.
and I mean, people putting guns, like,
Yep.
they just don't know how to hunt on
Some
them.
people, that's their hunt.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what they do for the year. They come out, they go goose hunting.
And a lot of guys still use them, and I know there's a lot of outfitters that still do too. But we have. She's just letting them out, I think.
I would say.
We have a lot of guys that, man, there's no way in hell they'd lay on the ground.
Yeah. Oh
like,
no.
like they'd have a hard
They
time
couldn't
shooting.
do it. Couldn't do it.
No.
And that's a nice thing, especially some of those older guys. It's nice to be able to get them out.
Did,
60, 70 years old, they're still sitting out there in the friggin' blind.
Ryan, he hunted in for just a year or two, didn't he, with layout blinds.
Yeah.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah. One thing that we are going to do for next year that we've noticed that I've definitely noticed on certain days myself is we're going to get taller chairs
The new blinds are a
for,
little
for,
taller.
for guys
I've been bringing my own chair. That thing is friggin' nice.
because sometimes your arse is lower than your knees,
Yeah.
and I'm here to tell you it's hard to get up out of. So we got to get a probably, I don't know, I'm going to buy a bunch, and it's probably going to happen on Monday.
Yeah.
Cyber Monday, right?
Yeah.
So I'll
a
get,
good idea.
for all you fellows out there that hunt with us, we're going to get you some new chairs. But that's it.
So there will be
That's
some,
nothing else.
Nothing else.
there'll be some older chairs going up for sale.
Yeah, probably some older. Well, actually, we'll probably keep them because,
We need them.
oh, yeah.
Keep a
there's-
few for sure.
There's always guys that, I hate to sell gear like that just
Yeah.
because there's always, we get a big bunch of guys that want to come with us, and at least that way we got chairs, right? I don't
Yeah.
mind that stuff, but I want everybody to be accommodated.
Comfortable.
Yeah. I'd like to say that we need heaters too, but if next year's like this year at all.
We never ran heaters.
Yeah, we need a
once this
fly
year.
swatter.
Yeah,
We were
need
fighting
a fly
mosquitoes.
sport.
Man.
Friggin' right.
I don't know, was it last year or the year before that, man, we were running heaters like every hunt.
I'll tell you one thing that we probably are going to gear up is our sled better,
Yeah.
and probably need another one of those. And
Got room for a second one.
yeah, and we got a little bit of work to do on the front of our trailer there, but man, you got to have an arsenal when you're doing this.
Yeah.
It's so much gear. Like, how many times did I say that this year? Guys would be looking in there, and I'd be like, a lot of gear, eh? And they're like, yeah, man, that's a lot of gear. And I'm like, that's not even all of it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just what we need for today.
we're not carrying around things that we might not have to use.
Yeah.
Like, our sled is always in the trailer, and we've always got like 40 dozen big owls. If we get to a field and it's like, holy shit, like, we can't get out there.
Those new big owls look crazy.
They're friggin' awesome.
They're so good.
When I
yeah.
shot that duck the other day, I was like, is there a duck and a goose sitting there? I had to contemplate.
couldn't
I was
tell
like,
the
am I
difference.
shooting the silhouette or am I
Couldn't
shooting
tell
the
if
duck
it was a
beside
silhouette or a
Yeah.
real duck.
And I'll tell you, like,
It's pretty bad when you got to sit there and
Yeah.
wait and make sure it moves. Okay, it's a duck.
the new X14s, yeah,
Yeah.
and then in the
Man.
Bully series, the things that he's done with them are is just
The
crazy.
poses and shit are
And
friggin' wicked.
never met him in person, but I can tell you right now, like, one of the best guys
Yeah,
going.
great fella.
He's been so good to us, and such a great supporter, and he's always so good to deal with. And man, like, if you called him, like, he'd sit there and talk to you about hunting, just like the most down to earth guy, and makes a super good product.
Yeah.
Like, he came out with those black duck decoys last year. I mean, friggin' game changer. I'm like, all the guys that hunt black ducks on the coast here,
Yeah.
or in PEI, or Southwest Nova Scotia. Notice how I said that?
Southwest.
Southwest. Julian be proud of me.
Yeah. You got to start speaking that French gibberish, so he'd really be proud.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he would be. But like hunting out on the flats and stuff there, I mean, geez, one of those decoy bags, you could put 30 dozen of those things
Yeah.
in there for a joke, maybe more if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
carry
Just-
it, your
yeah.
blind bag, a shotgun, and away you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
away you go. And literally have no trouble putting a big jag of
Yeah.
decoys out on the flats.
And you need a 1985 big red three-wheeler to pull all that shit out there, too.
Yeah, well, we got one coming next year.
Are you getting that one?
Yeah,
You're-
my grandfather's,
Yeah.
I think.
Frig, that'll be neat. Nice and light.
Light, that's just it.
That's why you
Light.
get a ramp door, right?
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Drive it right in.
Remember,
the
you
sled's
used to
still
hate,
attached.
you were never a fan of ramp doors. You always
Mm-hmm.
wanted barn doors.
Yeah. Well, I didn't like the ramp. I didn't like the ramp, number one, because I was worried about denting it.
People walking on it.
And
It's uneven ground, and
I was always worried about denting the friggin' door because it wasn't
Yeah.
ours. And that was the thing. It was just kind of a pain to do it that way. But after you know,
Brother Steven's hoarding the liquor, Matthew.
I know he's the worst. He is the
He
worst.
is.
Steve,
I can't help it.
you're
It's
the
in my
worst.
blood.
Yeah. it
Brother
is in your
Steven,
blood.
you need to check yourself.
Hey, share the liquor. Okay.
I am the liquor.
I am the liquor.
Oh, man, he was so funny.
Everybody from the States that's listening to this, you know what the Trailer Park Boys is.
Uh-huh. A lot of people do.
I remember
now.
being down there to the Worlds, and hearing the boys talking and acting like bubbles. And they're like, trailer park boy. And they're like, who's the Canadian in here? I'm like, right here. They're like, do you know about the trailer park boys? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, do you live close to them? I'm like, oh, not that far. How far are we from them?
5 hours.
They
They're in
filmed the
Halifax.
Steve French episode in the
Man,
Mustard Tiger in the hemp field.
I
here.
worked in Julian's house.
Yeah.
Met
Did
his
you?
wi- yeah, I worked on his hot tub. Met his wife. Good fella.
Yes, sir.
Man, I've run into people in Florida that knew who the Trailer Park Boys were.
Yeah.
Oh, that's up where the Trailer Park Boys are. How
Yeah.
close are you? Same thing. How close are you to them?
Yeah.
But 5 hours, I actually worked in one of their houses, in Julian's house.
What a show, eh?
Oh man,
Yeah.
the friggin' Leahy was the funniest though. Holy
Never
shit.
drank a drop of liquor in his life. He was
Nope.
sober. Yeah.
Well, he was an alcoholic, wasn't he? Or
Maybe
he-
originally. I know he was sober.
I think he
when
was an
active
alcoholic, but
anyways. Yeah.
he was sober though.
Yeah.
But that's why he could play an alcoholic so good,
You knew it.
because he was an alcoholic. But man, some of the friggin' drunk scenes he did were so friggin' funny. Randy, I am the liquor.
I am the liquor ran.
Randy will bandy.
Ran
And he'd stumble down the steps there and slide right down. Frig, he's good.
Yeah, that was super solid.
I am the liquor.
But yeah, the Ls were definitely a huge help to us this year. I mean, we most of the time,
When you need them, you need them.
yeah, most of the time, we ran full bodies. If we had a cloudy day, doesn't mean that you have to run them just on cloudy days, but that's when we chose to do it. We would run a jag of them too, and it would really darken things out. But for me, with the silhouettes, if I'm gonna run them, I don't care what the weather is most of the time. If it's gonna be sunny,
Take the bus. Listen, Mr. Lee, they could kill one another. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, but we can't be involved with murder. Exactly, Randy. Mr. Lee, is this you talking or the liquor? Randy.
take a big drink.
I am the liquor.
Oh man. Rest in peace. He was so funny.
He
Holy
was,
shit.
But we
Randy.
like to we like to run a jag of them, and like I said, I don't know. We got to set them out so we know just how many's actually in there. But I'm thinking we got around 40 dozen or so, and man, when
Couple
you
dozen dozens.
a couple dozen, and
yeah.
when you put that many out, like it they've got several places to look. Depends on how you like to say this, but they've got a plethora of
Plethora.
areas to look.
And to be able to
The
do
word
that
you're
in an
thinking
hour.
of, Matthew, is plethora.
It depends on where you're from. A lot of people from Carroll County say plethora.
Well, a lot of people from Carrollton County don't know English.
Like clitoris or clitoris.
Whatever's in my face, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. No,
That was dirty, Steven.
Yeah, that was Steve. It just took it to another
So
level.
this
Oh, hey.
podcast is not PG anymore.
Yeah, it's just gone to another level.
Yeah.
That's the liquor speaking.
Yeah, so they do work good, and we put them in that sled, and when we have to drag them out. But even if we don't have to, it's good. Put a jag of them.
Looks good in the trailer.
Looks good in the trailer. Yeah.
Nice
Yeah.
decoy bags.
Hey, when we need them, we got them,
Decoys.
and they don't take up any space. So I'd like to have 100 dozen of them.
100 dozen
Jesus
would
Christ,
be
don't
would
get
be
100
awesome.
dozen. Then we got to put 100 dozen out.
It's easy though.
It
See Rod
is. You just
Daniels
walk
putting it-
along with a handful.
You see Rut Daniels putting them out today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little family groups, you just taking them like this and throwing them in
Yeah.
the air and hope they landed on the ground.
Man, he's funny, but that guy kills a lot of shit.
Yeah, he does.
Man, he put shit on the ground.
When he ran out there today and laid down and shot that goose,
Yeah.
I was like, he's going to do the exact same thing that I do when we get a single come in like that.
Yeah.
And then he laid down. I was like, oh, he just trumped me.
One up to you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Stevie, I wanted to ask you, you talked about Thanksgiving weekend. Was there anything that really stood out for you this year? It could be anything as a highlight, or it could be several things.
Nothing really as a highlight in particular. Like, it was a great season overall. The dog work is something I'm starting to, now that I'm kind of paying more attention to what's going on. The dog work, watching everybody. We had multiple handlers over the season, not just Matthew.
Yeah.
But we had other guys, clients bringing their dogs in and seeing how it goes and seeing what goes into it. There's no substitute for a good dog or a good handler. That's another thing is, you can have the best dog in the world trained by Maritime Dog Training.
And they all were.
And they all were, yeah.
Except for one.
We talking about Julian?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Julian. Didn't want to bring your name into this. But.
Yeah, Julian's obviously a terrible fucking
Yeah.
handler, but
Yeah.
anyway. He knows that, and he's got a really good dog, though. You're getting there, Julian.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Actually, jokes aside, Aaron Hunt was brought Maddie, yeah, and she's a really good dog. And I'll tell you right now, Aaron Hunt is a super good handler. He has a what do you got going on?
That sounds friggin' good. Cheese and rice.
Yeah. No, Aaron's.
Hey, buddy. Hi.
Aaron's a really good handler, and he does a nice job with his dogs. He's actually got a
Booglet's going out to play with a neighbor dog, so Tank
yeah.
can come down with
good
us for
that
a
he
bit.
good that he came in.
Yeah.
He's actually got a duck toller that's. I'm pretty sure she's a 2-time Grandmaster hunter,
Oh, wow.
which is
Hey,
like
buddy.
probably.
Oh, yeah. You got me. That was full insertion. Tank's tongue right in my mouth.
No consent.
No consent.
No, I was just accosted by Matthew's dog.
Tank has zero boundaries.
No.
Otter was the worst because she's calm.
Yeah.
And you didn't expect it. The next thing you know, she's licking your tonsils. And you're like, what in the frig?
Yeah.
How did that get there?
Yes.
Did I like it?
She's a good one.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
old is Otter now?
10.
And a half?
10.
10.
Well, yeah.
I couldn't remember she was born in fall.
She was
or
born in
spring.
March. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
a
a-
good one. Also a 2-time Grandmaster hunter. But yeah, Aaron's a really good handler.
Steven.
He did a really nice
Steven,
job.
are you going to stool out?
Oh, good,
Steven has to go take a shit break.
good job, Steve. But yeah, he's right. The dog work was nice.
Yeah, it's so fun to watch. It's the highlight of the hunt.
Yeah.
I mean, between that and just hanging out with your buddies, obviously, but watching the dogs work and do their job and just do it so good. It's so friggin' fun.
And we get the most comments.
Absolutely, by far.
Down.
100%.
Good boy. Yeah,
Me and that
chill
fella
out.
need to have a romp after the podcast.
He just never, you can't wear him out. I was telling the story today about him when we were down in Sugar. And he friggin', there was a goose that we dropped. This is December last year. It was 350 yards away. And I thought, this is a perfect blind for that dog. This is exactly what he needs. This is what we've been training for. It's a nice long one. The bird hit the ground
That's
like
what she said.
like a ton of, not to me, but the bird hit the ground like a ton of bricks. I'm like, good enough. The river was about 50 yards from where the bird fell. Sent the dog. He took a super good line. I had to handle him once. When he got about 60 yards away, the bird got
Did he
legs.
take a good bite?
He took a real nice bite, yeah. Straight up right hand back, and he took a
Oh.
real nice dig. Like, he didn't dig back, but he took a real nice bite there, went back. As soon as he spun, he was about 60 yards from the bird. It stood up. I'm like, oh shit, look at that. He's going to tackle it right at the end. That's good for him. Didn't it friggin' start to run? And then it got its wings under it and took off. But it only stayed like, fucking 6 feet off the ground. Flies, he's on its ass, down over the bank, which is like 20 feet, and into the river. And I'm like, oh shit. Because at this point,
There goes
now
the
I'm
dog.
400 yards away from my dog, and he's in the St. John River, below the dam, and the dam's open, right? So the current's rolling, and I'm like, mother of God, like, I've got to get over there, because he'll be friggin' down by the Delta Hotel before I get him. Anyway, I go over there. I finally get over there, and I look out in the river. No dog. I'm like, holy shit. Where the hell did he go? Look down the river. There he is, like hundreds of yards down the river, still after this goose.
Committed.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, he did come back, but I'll tell you right now, that made me nervous. But he's got no shot off to him. He can roll.
That's something I noticed this year. You're not a fan of sending your dog when you can't see him. You want to know where he is. You don't like sending him through the woods. You don't like sending him to the corn. You don't like
I don't mind sending him through the woods. I'm worried
hill.
about them getting to the road.
Yeah.
No, when he got into that cornfield this year behind us, I'm not doing that. Yeah. Otter would have been a different story.
You would not like a pointing dog.
Or Riley. Well, see, but with at least you got a GPS collar.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
if he got off in that corn, it's so loud that before he
never hear you.
knew where the hell he was, he'd be a mile away.
I don't know how far Tank would run on like when you sent him. When would he stop?
He would run. Robert asked this year, and I said we teach them to run to the end of the field. Yeah. Like he's a field trial dog, big, powerful field trial dog. Like his mother. Let me read to you what Connie sent me this year, because this needs to be said. Tank is one of 3 out of that litter that she had.
A machine.
And will be the only dogs out of that female because she spayed her.
Yeah, she was getting older though, wasn't she?
I don't know. I'm not 100% sure why she spayed her, but maybe it was just because she wasn't going to have any more pups, and she was just ready to go. Okay. Tank's mama finished the year as the top Canadian amateur dog. She was a national finalist. She's got 48 all-age combined U.S. and Canadian points.
That's friggin' nuts.
Which includes 7 wins in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So just to put it into perspective, in the field trial game, especially...
For people that don't understand what that means.
For people that don't understand what that means, some dogs hope to win once in their career. You know, most field trial dogs hope to win one trial. When you're running trials with 80, 100 dogs in them.
Yeah.
Every weekend, Jamie's won 7 and got 3 seconds. Yeah. And has been a finalist in the national here in Canada. Well, twice for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he comes out of, and his father was a national field trial champion.
Tank has a drive that you don't see in a lot of dogs.
No, his father was really good too.
Field trial dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
This is not the dog for everybody.
No.
When you have, so when I had Otter, I thought, I was always like, man, I'd love to have a dog that has like tons of go and would drive hard into the water and do their thing. And you know what? Like, divine design is what it is, right? Yeah. Like, if I would have got him first, I would have never been able to handle him.
No.
As it is right now, even Walter said when he had him south his first year, he's like,
that's a lot of dogs.
He's like, out of the 6 dogs I have on my truck, he's enough. He's as much work as all of the other ones put together. He's like,
yeah.
He said, honest to God, man, he's like, if you didn't have him, I don't know who'd be able to deal with him. And I'm like, I can barely deal with him.
It's literally controlled chaos.
It is,
It's just.
But he is
lightning in a bottle.
He is when he's talented.
Well, when you see him line up next to you in that field, man,
he goes where he's sent.
The focus.
Yeah.
There's nobody that loves his job more.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that he can do that because he can hunt every day. He's got the energy for it.
Yeah.
Most dogs don't.
He's exactly now, especially that I have him, I realize like he's what I need to do. Like you'll never trump Otter. I mean, she's as decorated as
she's as good a dog. She's as good a retriever. She did it differently.
Yeah.
But I don't think she could hunt every day. Not like he did.
No.
Or not like he can.
She wouldn't do the job as fast.
No, he's
as
fast.
him. When he goes out and gets a bird, he just grabs it and come back.
Yeah.
Care.
Like
Well,
she,
her, it was
she
just her
slower.
size. I
Yeah.
mean, she's only 50 pounds, was
Yeah.
she? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, she's just smaller.
That's not a big dog for picking up a goose.
The one of the biggest things with him right now is I'm sitting here going, we're coming up on winter. Like, it's really not even fair for me to keep that dog here in the winter. Like, he should be with a pro
Yeah.
somewhere.
Down south.
Yeah,
Running.
doing his thing. You know, he's not. He's a great dog around the house for me. Really, like he.
Well,
He
high
is.
energy dogs are no joke. Like
But
my
he's-
my dog and Boog now and Jace, like Boog's been out back already once on the 4-wheeler for a run, and now he's out playing with the neighbor's dog, running and wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, and if you miss one day, he's ape shit. Like
So-
they just got so much energy.
You think you'll get a dog next year or something, Steve?
I'm thinking the next year or so.
We're hoping to, get on the list and get ready to.
Wouldn't be a bad idea
We've
to
been
get
doing a lot
one.
of research, watching a lot of videos, reading up.
Wouldn't
it's
be
a lot.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to get one in like the fall.
Yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
September.
Yeah.
And then by
Next fall,
Next
be ready to roll.
Just
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and take a good look at your life
Yep.
and make sure you got the time all the
that's
time.
why I didn't pull the trigger already.
And that's the thing, right? Like this isn't a fall
Yeah.
only. This is
It's
a
all year.
like Lori was out because we had the podcast coming. I was cooking supper. She was out in the piss pouring rain on the 4-wheeler running the dog because he has to have it.
Yep.
yeah, well
And-
they have to be. They have to be.
And Jace was the
excellent.
same way for 9 years
And that's why
straight.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting until I'm ready.
And
Like
it's
all those
the
days you want to
dedication.
go fishing in summer,
They'll come with me.
he's gonna have to come with you, and he's gonna have to run.
Yeah.
You're gonna
It's-
have to dump him out in the top of the
Yeah.
ducks in the keg, and you're gonna have
Let
to
him
fish your
swim.
way down and
I'll-
let him run and swim.
I'll tell you, static exercise, like it's not like saying that it's a run is.
I think he's
Careful
caught on
there.
the cord. We might lose power in the podcast. Where's that even going?
That hyper dog is now tangled in our power source.
Down.
Well, where's this even going?
I got it.
Okay, yeah, throw it right up on the table.
There you go.
There
Down.
we go.
You got my friggin' headphones
He's all
pulled
tangled
out.
up now.
Okay.
Oh,
Headphones are fine. That power cord gets unplugged, the podcast
good.
is over
He's
because
got
I don't
it.
have batteries in this thing right now, which I should put in there.
There, we're good now.
we're golden.
We get everything up.
But yeah, I mean, you need them. You need them to run
Every
like
day.
at a lope.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need them to, like when you think about a horse, you need them to pace.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
the same thing with swimming.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you took your dog and got in a canoe
Yeah.
and swam your dog just back and forth easy along the length of that Bennett Lake
Yep.
gravel pit, like they would have muscles in their shit by the end of the summer. Like that's what conditions a dog properly. And these dogs, to do their job well, have to be conditioned. Like people that are taking their dogs hunting in the fall that haven't done shit with them all summer, I'm going to be real honest here right
hard
now.
on
This
them.
is a super honest moment for me. If you haven't run your dog all summer and you haven't done any training and you're going to take your dog out and you're going to expect that dog to perform, there's like a good 80% chance that dog's going to get injured.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
Whether you know about it or not. And then the other thing is, like, is that dog going to enjoy itself as much as,
well,
as
it's
it
like
should?
running a marathon without any training.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not like people do not condition their dogs
No.
well enough. They don't train, number one, and they do not condition their dogs. Their dogs aren't healthy. They're overweight. They're out of shape. I mean, you can only imagine. Okay, I'm gonna throw you 25 retrieves today.
Yep.
You haven't done shit all summer, but lay on your back
Yeah.
in the sun, and I mean, to be fair to these dogs, we got to keep them in shape.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
can't expect them to.
It's a partnership.
Yeah, you can't expect
Yeah.
them to perform. I mean, if your dog is wore out and the tongue's hanging to its feet,
Yeah.
like this fall, there was a really good chance that you could have overheated your dog.
Oh,
Because the other thing you
yeah.
got to remember is, especially if your dog isn't conditioned, like you're standing there, your dog's the one running out there, grabbing that, 8-10 pound bird, coming back. That's once. Okay, and then you're doing that multiple times in a morning.
Yep.
Like if your dog is out of shape, you're putting a lot of stress on that animal's organs. So I
And
don't
it's
know.
your responsibility.
It's
to
your
handle.
responsibility, yeah, to show up with a dog that's ready to go, not
Yep.
something that's
Andrew
half-assed.
Davenport, he put me on a good idea. I went out and bought it too. He carries. I mean, we don't have dog trucks like you, but
In trailers.
One of
And
trailers.
trailers.
We got one of those big water totes with a spigot on it there.
Yeah.
And then just like a horse bucket.
Yeah.
So every time upland hunting, I mean, they're running hard in
Yeah.
the heat. And
Yeah, I have stainless. I
when
have
you get done
stainless
that,
buckets. For
fill
all
the
my
bucket
dogs.
up and let them drink.
And my truck's just got a, which I love. It's just got a 10-gallon water tank on it, and that's all you need.
Yep.
Some of them have, some dog boxes have like 20 gallons or even 40
And 10
gallons.
gallons is a lot of water.
Yeah, and it's gravity fed, which is perfect. Get out of there, Steve.
Get out of there.
Smart enough.
Man, that is deadly.
Leave that over by me.
But it's to do it right. That's the other thing. I mean, people want to ask questions like, how long does it take to train a dog and whatever, and I'm like, honestly, to do it right, there's so many parts and pieces.
They're never
And
trained.
to run a
Really?
blind retrieve
Yeah.
alone. There's so many parts and pieces that go into that. And I mean, we talk about being waterfowl hunters, and you've said today, like, it's all you think about. It's all you want to do. Like, what keeps your season going? Train your dog.
Yeah.
Like, in the wintertime, you have to be careful. Like, days like today when it's icy, good chance you're going to hurt your dog. You tear a cruciate, like,
Yeah.
you're done. You know, you're thousands of dollars in surgery. Your dog's never going to be the same.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So
Ask me how I know.
deep snow, like, you have to be careful.
Deep snow's not bad. They can't go as fast, and it's crazy workout.
It's the the problem with the deep snow is when they drive their leg in and then they go, oh, what's that? 90 degrees to the right or left,
Yeah.
and then they turn and their leg doesn't
Yeah,
turn.
if it's stiff snow.
Yeah, with them. So, but I mean, hey, look, I know the Moncton Retriever Club. They have a super nice horse barn down there that they ran a few times a winter, and people go in there and train. Like, you can always train obedience. There's always stuff that you can do. Like, if you have a little bit of room. But the biggest thing is, again, well, there's lots of big things. I say that all the time, but is to make sure they're conditioned. People don't think about that. They're like, oh, it's October 1st, time to go hunting, and their dog hasn't done shit all
Yeah.
summer, and it's like, man, such a good chance that your dog's gonna, get hurt.
Yeah.
Get
Get him out there. Like, our
'em out
dog's
there.
on the four-wheeler. He runs around between 10 and 15 kilometers an hour. It's just like it's a nice jog. We don't sprint or run
No,
super hard.
They
Running
just need
wide
a
open.
lope.
Yeah,
a
it's just a
jog.
nice lope. Running wide open hard isn't any good.
No, hard
That's
on.
hard on the joints.
Hard
so
on the
we
body.
don't do that, but just cruise along 10 to 15 kilometers an hour for, well, we usually do about 10K or so. Or the dog does about 10K minimum. And man, it just keeps him in shape, and it keeps him relaxed at home.
The other thing to consider. What was that?
Oh, they're playing.
Oh, I was
Calling
like,
the dogs
geez, somebody
back.
watching a video. The other thing to consider is, Steve, this fall was super warm.
Oh,
And I'll tell you something. Again, you're standing there sending your dog. Your dog's doing all the work. So, if there's 6 birds to be picked up and it's 18 degrees and your dog picks up 3 of them and you take that third bird and his tongue is hanging or her tongue is hanging, there's no shame in saying, kennel,
Yeah.
put your dog back in the blind and go get the other 3. Because I'll tell you right now, once you overheat your dog, that's another thing. You're like, it's tough to get them back.
I feel like Tank would run himself to death if you give him the command.
a lot of
would.
dogs
He'd
would.
run right to the end.
Most of them would.
Yep.
Yeah, most of them would.
High
So-
drive dogs
Yeah.
definitely would.
And you're not going to know until they come back, and you can see it
Yeah.
in their eyes.
Yeah.
And you can see it in their posture. Like, if you work and train with your dog enough, you're going to know. You're going to sit
You
there
can
and go,
see like the stress and redness around their eyes.
yeah, you're going to say, oh, shit,
Yeah.
he's getting hot.
Jace did that once in the summer. We were out back running, and he got into a flock of turkeys in a friggin' soybean field. I didn't know they were there. Holy shit! I thought he was gonna die on me. I carried him into the woods. I found a friggin' old mud hole, and was trying to like just cover him in friggin' mud. Like I thought he was gonna die. Right. I thought his heart
We
was
had
gonna
that issue with my
explode.
Rottweiler doing Mount Carlton. Did the Mount Carlton loop with him. Hot summer day, got hot. Ended up having every brook we come to, having to cool him down.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, you I don't think that guys take into account their animals' health that way often enough. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, we think about like cold water, we're like, oh, they got to have a vest on. And I mean, here's another thing. If it's 20 degrees and it's September, or maybe it's hotter than that, and it's September, and you're not hunting in a cornfield, you don't need a neoprene vest on your dog. And I see that a lot, and I'm like, man, I'll tell you something right now. Can you imagine being out in that weather wearing basically a wetsuit and running and doing retrieves? How hot your core temperature
If Brad
would be?
was here, he did a couple long retrieves with the sick gear on. He could attest to how horrible that is.
Yeah.
A couple 200-yard blind retrieves this year.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan wasn't much of a handler, but he got him on point. He got him there.
Did he?
Yep.
The old tiger.
Yep. But I
Who
know
unfortunately couldn't attend this evening. Neither could Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Julian's with his boy getting ready to go out on the ocean.
I forgot to ask permission from the old ladies.
Right? Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. So.
But nope, the dog's definitely on the list. I want to make sure I've got my part dealt with before I pull the trigger on a puppy. You know, I want to have a machine.
Yeah. You did the right job.
Yeah. And you know, you can't rush any of that. You want to make sure you got yourself in order. You got to be a handler before you got a dog.
Yeah. Definitely. And nowadays there's no reason not to have a trained dog.
Yeah.
There's enough if you don't want to go to a pro. There's so many programs out there that are inexpensive that all you have to do literally is buy them,
And
get
do
a
what they
little
tell
bit
you.
of equipment, and
Yeah.
follow the program to a
Man,
T.
even if you can just follow the program and get to like three-handed casting.
Yeah.
If you can get your dog to three-handed casting, like, man, you got a great dog, hunting dog.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to win field trials or anything, but
And
yeah,
if
see, I
that
want to do the trials. So if I get into it, I want to be running field trials.
do you?
Yeah.
Or hunt test?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hunt tests, all that
Yeah.
stuff. I don't
Good-
want to be just,
good
you
for
know, I
you.
don't want to be just in
Yeah.
October,
good for you.
you know.
Well, it's fun, man. I mean, field trials are
Yeah.
competitive, but then on the other side, you have the hunt
Yeah.
tests and stuff,
Yeah.
and which
Gives you something to do.
which are not competitive. But we have a ton of events here in the Maritimes, and I mean, I don't disagree, Wes, that your dog should at least know that. If you could get your dog through the basics program,
Yeah.
and get your dog through swim by, and teach them how to do, a manageable land and water blind, like 100 yards
Yeah.
and under. That's like a senior level dog, a dog that can do doubles and do a manageable blind retrieve on land and water. That's all most
Yep.
guys need. Now it's time. And once you get to the bottom end of your basics, it's there's lots of times where you're going to need help from people. Like you'll have questions because if your dog just went by the program and never screwed anything up, or you never did either, or you never ran into any problems,
Wouldn't need you.
wouldn't need me,
Yeah.
and it would be easy. Everybody would have a trained dog.
It's not.
But I mean, even at the start of it, like force fetch, good lord, I think I could make a living just off of force fetch.
Yeah.
And a lot of what I do is force fetch people's dogs. Force fetch, collar condition, basics program. Get them to a senior level, good to go. That's all anybody needs, right?
It is, yeah. That you got a good hunting dog if you get there, and
Yeah.
that's more.
You do.
and that's where more people. That's where most people don't get to that level,
Nope. And
it's not that hard to get to that level, really.
And you would
Time.
You would enjoy
Time, yeah.
you would enjoy your dog. Like literally, my season starts in May.
Yeah.
The last week of April, if we've had a decent winter, you could start to get out. But first week of May, first week of May this year, we had snow. First day of May. But you start then, and then you roll
Yeah.
right till Christmas.
Non-stop.
Yeah, right. And by October, your dog is salty.
Yeah.
Like they've picked up tons of birds. They've had lots of work on the water. They've had lots of good work on land. Lots of different concepts. Like by September, you're throwing some wild shit at them. Lots of decoys. So when October 1st comes, they're just like, fuck, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like,
I think people worry about the money involved in a dog, and it's the time they should be worried about.
yeah, it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
people pay literally $3,000 to $5,000 or more now for doodles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, to each their own. Whatever you have for a dog is great, but anybody that buys a dog now needs to understand that training needs to be part of that cost.
Yeah.
It's not just I'm going to buy a dog, I'm going to buy a leash, I'm going to maybe pay for some pet insurance. Like, you should factor in at the very bare minimum, I'm going to buy this dog, I'm going to get it all the shit that it needs, and I'm going to take it to obedience training.
At least obedience.
It would be
training,
it's very similar to saying I'm going to have a child, but I'm not going to educate them whatsoever. Not that I'm just not going to take them to school or homeschool them. I'm just not going to educate them
Not
at all.
going to teach them anything.
I'm not going to teach them anything, and I'm going to hope that over time
He turns out good.
they figure out what I want, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like, there wouldn't be many people that you would talk to that have kids that you would say, what grade's your kid in? How they making out in school? Oh, they don't go to school. We just chose not to educate them, right?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't do that. But when we're talking about dogs, we're bringing an animal into our house that shouldn't be a burden. Nobody wakes up one morning and goes, hey, you know what? Our life's too good. Let's bring another burden on. Let's
Yeah.
bring a dog in here. Right? You'll just take them more places. You'll enjoy them that much more. Yeah, train your dog. It's all I can't preach that enough. You'll just enjoy them that much more. You want your dog to be the dog that even people that don't like dogs like your dog.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you get that all the time. Oh, your dog's so well behaved.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because we train him
Yeah.
a little bit, even.
And I mean, that dog right there is about as high octane as you'll ever
It
find.
is, yeah.
But
He's a machine.
he's a good boy, and I'll tell you, the people that hunt with us,
He's a good boy because you made him a good boy.
because I made him a
He
good
would
boy.
be a wild animal.
Let's get that clear.
Yeah, he is a wild animal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is, and he takes a lot of work, and a lot of patience. But he's for as high as he is, he's also very intelligent and very able to figure out some really complex concepts. And for me to try to explain that to people, unless you were involved in the game, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
But when people like the simplest things that
I thought
these
the table's cracking in half right there.
the simplest things that these guys do, like stop on a whistle, I'm like, man, if I could only explain to you, like, what these guys are capable of, like counting. Okay, I watched 4 birds fall in these 4 different locations. I'm going to remember them. I'm going to pick up the last one that fell, and then even if there's 4 or 5 right here in front of me, if Dad says to me, leave it, and lines me up for one that's running away that I don't even see, I'll leave or run over the ones that are dead right here in front of me and run far to go get that one. Like, the most complex concepts that go completely against what their nature tells them to do.
The amount of times I've seen Tank sit down this year on a whistle when he was on a bird, like, I can't believe he does it.
Yeah.
When he knows what he's going for, you whistle, he stops and he looks at you.
Yeah.
You know, he's 6 feet, he's 2 feet, whatever, from that bird. And
Yeah.
he stopped, he's looked at you, he's waiting for your command.
Yeah.
Not if that bird he knows is beside him or the one that he knows is over his back.
Yeah. And goes and gets a different
And
one.
goes and gets a
I'll
different
tell
one.
you right now, Steve, once you get a dog and you get in the hunt test,
I've been seeing it.
you'll understand why that's so important.
Yeah, and I've been seeing it. I've had dogs on both sides of me all year. You
Yeah.
know, some trained, some, still need a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a never-ending process.
But it takes a long time to become a good handler, and I'll tell you something. If you're a good handler, you're always going to be a student of the game. And
You might as well give him a bone now.
yeah,
No,
here,
I-
Tanky. There you go, big
Now
one.
that
Would you like
Booglet's
to have
outside.
that? There you go. I'm not going to hold it though. You got to take it somewhere.
You gotta chew it yourself.
When you, I lost my train of thought.
Talking about the dog, about training.
You're not a good one to bring back trains of thought,
Yeah,
Steve.
No, mine are gone. My thoughts have long.
I think I was talking
left
about.
me.
I feel like I was talking about hunt testing. Now everybody that's going to be listening to this is going to be hollering at the radio or on their phone, going, "Ah, you idiot! This is what you were talking
Matt
about."
Wilson.
Yeah,
What he's talking
fucking
about.
Matt Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just the different concepts and
Yeah.
things that you get thrown at you during hunt tests, things like that. I mean, at first I didn't think that they had any value. When I first learned about poison birds, I was like, that has absolutely no value to me as a hunter. And then when I sat down and thought about it, I'm like, that happens all the time. You know, there's lots of times when I'm like, or guys will say, oh, there's one running up there on the hill. And we'll know him off of birds that are close to us. We can pick those up ourselves. If he only picks up one of maybe the 10 that are on the ground, that's what he's there for, to go get that one, right? And I mean, that's your dog, you know, when they're capable of that, it's impressive. And guys love how hard he runs. They just
Tank doesn't stop till 10 feet after he's hit that bird.
yeah, he runs it over and then he
Runs through
slows
it.
down, which is
Not
not the greatest, but that's
Yeah,
just in his
that's-
nature.
Recipe for injury there, but
Yeah.
what do you do?
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I actually started doing is I started supplementing green-lipped mussel from New Zealand, which is what I give. How many of those are you going to eat?
Oh, probably 20 today, I would say.
Jesus.
I mean, you can't overdose on vitamin C, but
No.
your friggin' piss must be like neon.
glowing.
You'd never drink enough
Radio.
water to
That's
turn it clear.
that's why I don't ever get sick.
I
Ever.
take 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day.
Oh, more than that. Cold and flu season, when I'm run down, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're impressive. It's for me. I mean, as much as I do that throughout the year, like I absolutely cannot wait to get out there and have people shoot birds so that I can pick them up with my dog.
Man, is he breaking chunks off that thing?
Probably.
He is chewing it aggressively.
And
As much as I like seeing birds be shot, I like watching the dogs work.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Watching
It's a lot
good
of fun.
handlers get out there and control their dogs and make them do things that, you know,
oh, I know what I
There.
was saying.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
get you back on track.
Yeah,
what
we
you
were
need.
talking about handlers and being a good handler. Like, you're always going to be a student of the game, I guess is what I was saying. And you should, if you're a good handler, be open to learning something from everybody. Like, if you're just starting today, there's probably something that I can learn from you, whether it's good or bad. Whether I see you do something, I'm like, oh shit, I'm not going to do that. Or you do something, I'm like, wow, I never thought about doing that like that. Like,
Yeah.
you always have to be open to learning. It's continued education, lifelong. You'll never learn it all. You always have to be open to learning. So,
I gotta go take a piss now.
yeah, why don't you? It's me and you, Stevie.
Just the two of us again.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we
Yeah.
try. I'll see you in 3 hours.
The dog training definitely something I'm interested. I can't wait to get into when I'm ready.
Yeah, you'll love it
Yeah, I
for
can't wait to
sure.
get a good dog.
Yeah, and that's another
And to fuck
thing.
it up.
It is yeah, right. No, you won't do that. The big thing
Hopefully
is
you won't let me do that.
I won't. The big thing is to be prepared.
Yeah.
Number one.
That's
Understand that it's a crawl, walk, run
Yep.
deal, right? Like we start out with obedience. That's number one. It's like building a house.
Yep.
Obedience is your foundation. You want to build your house on a rock foundation,
not on the mud.
or do you want to build it out of concrete?
Yeah.
And obedience has to be a way of life. Like, should this dog know how to sit and stay and come and heel and all that stuff? Should he? Yes. Is that the most minute thing that he's learned? Yeah, he learned it when he was just a puppy. And people will say, well, geez, he should know that stuff by now. Yeah, he should. But to hold myself accountable as a handler, I have to make sure that I condition those behaviors. Because if you don't, I just always feel like I can't hold the dog accountable for that if I haven't conditioned it formally. And I do that 3 days a week.
Yep. Well, we bred these animals, not me, but through generations for years, and to be these machines. If we're not gonna put the effort in, why have them?
Yep.
You might as well let them be with somebody who
Yep.
who will.
So you do that obedience,
Yep.
and throughout their training, regardless of where you are, even if you're in advanced, like he's in advanced training, you're still working on that so that that you've done your job as a handler. Like, should I know grade 5 math? Probably. Haven't done it in a day or two, so I probably wouldn't be that good at it. But, you know, if you did it 3 days a week,
Yep.
you'd be right on the up and up, right?
Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
Right.
Hell no.
So to expect my dog to operate at a high level, I understand as an advanced handler that it's the basics that count.
Yeah.
All the way throughout their training, right? If my dog won't listen to me, if I spend 5 minutes trying to get my dog settled down and he won't listen to me when he's 6 inches away, how is he going to do better when he's 60 feet away?
Yep.
He's not. And you find that at hunt tests and field trials. And I mean, this dog is as high as they come. Like, I've had trouble with him at hunt tests and stuff, and they know, right? And so you got to really drop the hammer on him and make sure that stuff is conditioned well, and it's a way of life.
Yeah. You owe it to the dog. You owe it to the animal.
You do. You're right. Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
And I mean, dogs are a huge part of waterfowl hunting. If your dog isn't trained, do you really need to bring it along? Like,
Yep.
I sometimes think that there's plenty of dogs that should just be left.
Is it going to be a benefit to the hunt or a detriment to the hunt?
Right, exactly. I mean,
And we're not dog snobs. If it's steady, or if you keep it pinned down, staked out, and we'll come back when you call it. At the very least,
we're gonna come back to the stakeout thing. So don't forget,
Yeah.
because we did see it in that video, and I wanted to explain that.
That makes me nervous.
What's that?
Dogs that break.
Oh yeah,
That are out in the spread when you're shooting geese above them.
it just doesn't happen.
It hasn't happened with us.
No, it just does not happen.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna do it.
We're not going to allow it.
Robert Milner, who owns Duck Hill Kennels, the kennel that I got otter from, said in his book, he said, a dog that picks up no ducks but sits quietly beside the blind and is steady and obedient is better than a dog that picks up all the ducks but breaks, is unruly, not obedient, and has its handler yelling at it all morning. Yeah. That's not an addition to your hunt. Yeah. That's a hindrance. That's a burden on the hunt. You don't, when you start to shoot, your dog does not need to be out there in the decoys. Prove me wrong. I mean, and maybe in some, I mean, I suppose if you had current, that's about the only way that I could see any need for your dog to break or go as soon as the shots are done, we'll say.
Yeah.
But while you're actively shooting, man, I see so many videos of guys' dogs running out there. And the whole point, it's not even completely a safety thing. It is, but on the other side of things, the reason you want your dog to be steady is because if you start to shoot or your dog goes when you call the shot, it doesn't mark any other birds. It marks one bird, and then the rest are blind retrieves. So if your dog isn't steady, is it skilled enough to run blinds? Because the rest of your marks are rest of your retrieves are going to be blinds. But if your dog sits there and watches 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a long one, 5 fall, it knows over time, with experience, that there's 5 birds out there, and it knows where they are better than you do. But if it goes on the first shot, number one, good chance it's going to get shot. And number two, and we've seen that certainly with some local videos, which I can't even watch. Like it, you know, if anyway. But the whole point is for your dog to be an addition to the hunt, right, Wes?
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, we stake ours out. Are the dogs steady? Do they offer to go? No, they don't offer to take off. But especially with a big group, it's like a seatbelt for us.
That's not a huge rush. I mean, it's not like having a dog staked out takes any time away, right? Like, I mean, you want to get him picked up, hopefully before the next flock comes, but
it's a matter of reaching over and unclipping.
Yeah, just going.
Then we don't ever have to worry about it.
Yeah, I've been muzzle blasted. You know how loud that is?
Yeah.
I don't want my dog out there on that end.
And if I looked down and my dog was out of the blind and the chain was tight, I'd make a correction.
Mm-hmm.
The dog would be back in the kennel, and it would not get to go.
That's how it needs to be.
And that's how it needs to be. There needs to be a correction for that. But it's not because our dogs are not steady. It's because we've just found over the years that it's probably best for us, even with a dog that never breaks, the time that they do is a time you're not going to be watching. So, especially if your dog isn't steady, man, I mean, it's a piece of rod and 4 feet of chain to chain them down.
Yep.
And you'll have a much better hunt. And your dog, by the end of the season, if you stake them out all fall, would be so much better by the end of the fall. Like, I'm not even talking about steadiness. I'm talking about marking in general.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to worry about.
Yeah.
That's his job.
Oh, I guess because I can't go. I know I'm hooked up. I'll just sit here and watch these. You know.
Watch you shoot no birds time and time again.
You must be talking about yourself.
That's why I don't have a dog. Nobody to disappoint.
How do you find
Yeah.
your little follow, Wes? You got a new one there.
Oh, he's really good so far.
Yeah.
I mean, at 6 months, it's hard to tell exactly. But
You
he's,
getting ready to force fetch? Is he losing his
I'm gonna,
teeth?
yeah, his teeth are gone, but man, he is super compliant for a pup. Like shooting partridge, I haven't waterfowl hunted with him, but shooting partridge are gross. Like he'll bring the damn thing back and give it to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna wait till the end of the season. He's not doing anything unruly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna force fetch him once the season's over and just let him enjoy it for right now.
Now,
But yeah, definitely gonna force fetch him.
sometimes,
His
and
collar condition though.
that's a good decision, because sometimes people get a dog like Otter, super easy to force fetch.
Yeah,
She-
she's softer, right?
She
He's
would,
softer than Jace was.
she would go and pick up a bird, and it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But the reason that we force fetch is to make sure that when we want to communicate to our dog, hey, I want you to pick that up. Like if they
yeah.
if they ever refuse, or if there's or if they drop something, if they come back and they drop a bird and you want them to pick it up, if you haven't force fetched your dog, it's really not fair to give that dog a command like fetch and give a correction if you
Yeah.
haven't formally taught the dog what fetch means and the correction that comes after that, fetch
Yeah.
and hold. We always have to think about that. If we haven't formally taught things, it's not fair to make corrections for them,
Yeah.
right? We have to be fair to our dog. You know, and force fetch is if you've got a dog that's soft, hey, be no problem. Maybe
And
it
that's
only
the thing.
takes you.
He's softer than Jace. Like Jace, I mean, if you shot a bird before he was force fetched, like that was his bird, he's gone.
Yeah.
And he wasn't bringing that back for nothing, so he needed to have it.
And that's the other thing.
Immediately.
It teaches teaching our dogs force fetch and hold. Like it teaches them how to hold things, because eventually we're gonna get a bird that's got the meat showing, and they act different when they get
They
on a
wanna
bird
eat
like
it,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're especially if you're gonna hunt test your dog, and you get a dog, you're on a Sunday and you get a bird that's from the day before, and they've just dried them out, which they do a lot of times because most clubs buy birds and reuse them for the second day. You know, if they get smelly or whatever else, like you get a dog that never had trouble with birds, all of a sudden
Doesn't want to pick
doesn't
it up.
want to let it go.
Or doesn't want to let it go, yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe doesn't want to pick it up.
Yeah.
But you see that so much. Dogs in the junior level, like, hey, that dog ran out there 80 yards, picked that bird up, came back, got 6 feet away from you, and spit it out and
Yeah.
started messing around with it. That's a
Yeah.
dog that's not force fetch. He thinks it's
Yeah.
a game, right? He doesn't
Yeah.
understand that when you say fetch, there's a reinforcement.
I think he should go quite well with Boog. Like, he's never offered to
It's critical.
run off with it
Yeah.
so far, which is great. It allows me to get through the season and just let him enjoy it and learn. He's got a hell of a nose on him. Like, doing a great job finding birds and pointing pretty good. I mean, he's not steady yet, obviously, but that'll come with pigeon work and stuff. And then, but no, he's doing really good. He's a lot softer dog than Jace was.
Well, that'll probably be good for you in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah, he was a lot of dog.
So the other point I need to throw in there quick is when we talk about force fetch too. Force fetch is like the foundation for pressure all the way throughout your program. And when people look at that and they skip that step, which you should never do, follow your program to a T. Your whole program's a house of cards if you don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to get ready for it. Get on the list here in the next year or so. Get the puppy.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can
I'd
set
be-
me on the right path with the dog.
I
Good
would,
dog.
I would be putting myself on a list now.
No, yeah.
You want a dog next year?
Yeah, probably
prob-
next fall. Next, I'd like to have a trainable
next fall?
I'd like to have a trainable puppy for spring.
Okay.
This spring coming?
Next spring.
Like 2024?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
24
Well,
or 23.
If you want spring 23, you're probably too late.
Yeah, not this year. Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want this summer.
Right. So I would be on a list now
No,
Yeah.
and if you could get one for fall
Yeah.
24
Yeah, that's kind of what I want.
Yeah.
So he's old enough that I can start running him through the program.
The
come
first year.
snow melt.
or like fall 23.
Yeah.
Like if you could
Yeah.
get on one for a year from now,
Yeah.
and then you could have it for the fall of 24, because then you're going to miss two years.
2 years. That's true. Yeah.
So
I mean, I've already got a fully trained dog.
yeah,
Sits at the other end of the blind. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boys, she's been a hot minute.
should we get in a few minutes?
Yeah. We should probably.
Every podcast we have, we always end up talking about dogs,
And we can keep on talking.
and I think people enjoy that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been, hey boys, it's been great. I knew that I felt like this time I said we're going to talk for a
Yeah.
while, but
Well, it's been a while.
yeah, it has been a while. But we had we still got, we're just over halfway through our season.
Yeah.
We're halfway through the season date-wise,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think we're
close to the end.
probably 7/8
Weather's
done.
not cooperating.
Close to the end. Yeah, we're going
The
to
weather's looking pretty good for this week, so I think we'll keep a few
Yeah,
more
2 days
birds.
of rain and
I think we'll keep some
some
birds
fresh
right now,
corn cut
but
this week.
yeah.
Oh, it's sad.
So
Makes me
next
sad.
weekend's looking pretty good. I would say.
The winter depression
But-
will kick in here soon, I'm sure.
We just start traveling.
Need to get a hobby.
Goose hunting.
Winter
South.
hobby. Yeah, that's expensive though. Holy shit. Hell, I'd take a trip to PEI right now. That'd be friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
And it's always interesting to see how other people do it too.
Just no pressure.
Yeah.
When
Not
we're
to
done,
worry about
when
it.
we're done guiding, I think that's half of the fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's always pressure when we're guiding.
Yeah.
I
mean-
you want to perform, right?
Yep.
They're paying you to get on birds. I know the feeling.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
like
want to put
bears.
anybody on a field I wouldn't sit in myself.
That's right. We
Yeah.
would never.
Yeah.
We're never gonna put people in a field that we wouldn't hunt ourselves.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we're not completely confident in, that we couldn't come to and shoot birds.
Yeah.
We're
If
never.
we're-
It's never by chance ever.
If we thought some results is better, we're going to be there.
We'll be
Yeah.
there, regardless of how far or what we have to do to get there. Boat, fly, whatever
Yep.
we got to do,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
we'll do her.
We're set up.
Well, boys, it's been a good talk.
Hell yeah.
Let's shut her down.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace out,
Have a
boys.
good one.
Good talking to you.
Another lovely Friday night.